Chris, the Lone Arm Lone Star, already knows what
Welcome.
your shirt is.
Yes. Itchy Quarter Book Club. Last of 2025. We done
The
good.
last one.
We've done
We've
good.
done 20.
20.
20.
Yay.
Yeah.
And still enthused.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
That's not even half a year, technically.
Yeah. No. I'm excited. We got some stuff planned out for next year in the works. Maybe some
Yeah.
image shifts, a little more realistic image, not realistic, but more
Not come
more
on
more
now.
brand, yeah, more branding
More
on our
branding.
end. Maybe some
Yeah,
music, some customization with the music.
be good.
Maybe an itchy composed theme song. we
Oh,
get,
now you've said it.
I
People are gonna be
know.
expecting it.
Well, that's why I have to say it because it hold me to it. So
Yeah.
I was this is a good segue to Ezra music. Um, but yeah, I didn't think to put the stuff together. Because I was, I don't know if anybody knows this about me. I was in a band. I was on a label. We played music, and I love composing music. I stopped doing it when my daughter was born. I still play, I still write music, but I'm not in the band anymore. Um, but I was like, oh man, I could write some songs for the Quarter Book Club, something that would go along with it. And that this has made it's like I always anytime, like even when I start streaming, I always love to bridge literature and find ways to bridge literature and the music together. I do that. I'm trying to do that now. Like that's why we have. If you look at the YouTube shorts, we have all our YouTube shorts are inspired by record covers and album covers. So it's nice. So I was like, oh man, I should just write some music for this stuff. So that'll be in the works. I just wanted to say it because if I don't say it, it won't happen.
Well,
And
then
if
I
I, but
should say that I'm hoping to redraw our muñecas because
yeah,
these are technically clip art.
yeah. So we're gonna make it a little bit more,
Maybe
a
a
little
change.
itchy-ish, shiny-ish. So on the music front, I have this very nice, I pulled from the closet, the muñeca closet,
Yeah.
this dapper
With a
attire.
with a demon goat in Christmas wear, which I just think
Yeah,
is
this
great.
it is great. It
Absolutely
works
great.
well. So,
And it
so
is representing our friend Esrom Music.
yes,
Um, I haven't watched as many of Esrom streams as I wish I could have, but that's because Esrom streams when I should absolutely be asleep. Um,
mm,
you often start your streams when I should be going to sleep, but Esrom starts when I should be asleep. Um, but Esrom does music loops and
mm,
like live on the fly. It's
mm,
great. And while doing that on stream, still, says hello to people, still, interacts with chat.
mm-hmm,
Um, he has a lot of experience, been working in the music industry for a long time. Um, he also streams with another streamer, Your Face is Pretty. They have something called the Radio Scopes, where he is doing live music while she is doing live drawing. And
mm,
it's super fun to watch. Like I I get like hypnotized by it. It's so good.
mm,
But Ezram's also just like a really nice person. He's lovely.
mm.
Um I met him the same way I met you through Taddy Bidet, bringing people together. Um, but he also does streams that are silent movies,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and he puts music to them. I
scoring
think
the
that's on
movies,
Saturday nights.
live scoring.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amazing. I have been able to catch one of those streams before. Yeah, he's super talented, really nice guy. And I recommend anybody go hang out in streams. Um, loves plague doctors. Um, what else? Have you
Yeah,
been to
yeah.
any of his streams?
You know what? I was trying to because I know him through you, but I followed him, but I just never really, I never caught like a show, like a full show, kind of in and out.
Mm,
I think he streams sometimes around in different, like our maybe our schedules don't um play well together.
mm-hmm.
But I did come across some of that live scoring, and I was very impressed. Also, like I just like in general, I think Twitch is very present. That's one of the things I love about Twitch. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's guerrilla radio, but because it's owned by a
Mm-hmm.
very corporate entity. But it's there's something like very I don't know. It's something present about Twitch. Like it reflects real time. Like if it's like for instance, if somebody like when somebody dies or a musician or something like that, I feel like you kind of, if you go to different streams, it's just like it reverberates through all the streams. People go, oh, do you hear about this? Do you hear about that? And sometimes like if it's a musician, and I'm mostly in a lot more DJ streams and art streams, you may find like the sets change to that. It reflects the situation. So
Mm.
um, if remember Ozzy passed away, and he was getting all
Oh
these like
yeah, there were
spontaneous
loads of streams.
Ozzy tributes just popping up, and I was like, I think that's cool, and I like to. I think about when as we're on music, like just doing stuff live. Um, especially when you play, you're there. It's at that moment. That's what's happening, and if you're playing live music, like you're also as a musician, you are kind of pushing through your own emotions. Like you may have had a bad day, and or challenging day, and you're doing this. I feel maybe your art is reflective of your emotions that day. So it's like it's going to come out differently, and it might not be that stream may be different from another stream you do. Because or you could be it could not, that's a negative thing, it could be a very happy thing, and you're just in this kind of mood. So I think I really respect and appreciate people who do those types of things. You're not so premeditated. Even though I'm sure there's work that gets put into it, it's a lot of prep work. But I'm saying like it seems that most of the stuff I've seen that he does, it's just on the fly, and it's great.
And
Elements of
it's
it.
beautiful music. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like I've never heard anything on Ezram's stream that didn't sound like it was exactly as it should be. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
um
and it's
and
nice to as like an audience member, a listener. It's great. It reminds me. It's like it's college radio all over again. You're hearing
mm,
DJs talking, and just it doesn't seem like your listeners are there. You're with them. It's just
mhm.
it works out, and especially in that capacity where you're doing loops and things and you might have a mistake. Things may go wrong, but you may right the wrongs in the set.
Yeah.
What is a wrong? No, that's subjective. That's
Yeah.
very subjective. You can make it right by doing other things. So I always like that element of things. I have a lot of friends who explore loops, and who even do it live.
He also
And
has great emotes.
oh yes, yeah, those are nice, very nice. Lots of emotes. That's a wow. You have to get them all in a row there.
He must just have short names for them. I was able to click them all. I've
Wow.
I've tried to click everybody's emotes in other streams and their names are too long and it butts up against the character limit for a chat message.
Mmm. Yeah. Wow. They all look nice. That's a little army.
Oh, Army. This is my favorite one though. I'll show you my favorite one. I use this one in lots of DJ streams because I love it so much. It's this one. That's the best one.
I don't even know what he's doing, but I love it.
He's
It, it's
dancing.
but with a cane.
Yeah, well, he's a plague doctor. He might not be that young anymore.
Oh, that's a little.
The emote. I'm not talking about Esrom.
That's very addictive to see this that move.
I Yeah,
I,
there's
I,
certain
I,
songs that it syncs up with so perfectly as
na
well.
na 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 na. Deep
Yeah,
purple.
yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I'm gonna use that
You play that song
for
and I will
Hush.
absolutely use
Yeah, we're
that
gonna play it.
emote.
We'll put. I was trying to find Hush last night. Damn it. I was thinking about
Mm.
that song. Well, anyway, we like to. We haven't had. We have more stories than listeners.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
we ran out of. We like to have people come through here to DJ, or we like to always send or streamers their flowers when they're still here. As morbid
Mm.
as that sounds, but um, yeah, like we like to always
Yeah,
shout
I
out
don't
to
know why
the
I agreed with that one.
yeah, exactly. You know me, elements of goth. Any chance I can get. Um, but yeah, we like to make sure we like to dedicate. You know, we don't really get anything. We just like to talk about streamers that we dig,
Hmm.
and and we give them, and we want to recommend it because it's this nice, it's a nice, very nice community, especially when it
Hmm.
links up with other parts of it, like art streamers and music streamers. It's all art at the end of the day, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it seemed to I like that. It's just nice. It's like, to me, it's better than a shout out.
Yeah. Although
Yeah,
I did shout him out so you can follow him if you want.
yeah, yeah. No, the shout outs are important, but yeah, I get a little more in depth. All right, so on to our story.
Yeah.
Muhammad
This
Al
Muhammad
Al
Al-Asfar.
Al-Asfar. Yes.
Yeah. Hyphenated.
Hyphenated, yes. Oh,
Um,
let me put the stories in there for those who want to follow. This is a short one.
oh yeah. There you
This
go.
is called The Story of a Sock.
Yeah, I picked the story, which I'm not usually the one picking the stories, but Itchy did this thing on Tuesday. I don't know if any of you know about it, but it was like a 10-hour stream. So I
Yeah.
had to help him out with the stories this week.
Yeah. Another late birthday wish to Shiny Quarter. So, yeah, you
Um,
only turn 21 once, you know.
yeah, sure. Every year for the rest of my life. Um, but yeah, so I picked this story and it's accidentally kind of great. Um, but I'll tell you about Muhammad Al-Asfar as much as I can because both of our authors this week are still alive. So there's very little about them. They're also with Muhammad Al-Asfar, I just think he's quite private because he's from Libya. Uh, and he is displaced because of the problems there. But he was born in 1960 in the Libyan town of Combs. I'm probably not saying that correctly, but he grew up in Benghazi. He worked in elementary and middle schools. And after teaching, this is a weird way to go about this, but after teaching, he became a footballer. So he played soccer. Um, and then after that, he became a traveling salesman. And
No,
he
wow.
traveled like not just in Libya, he traveled to Tunisia, um, all into um, further into Asia. Like he was really traveling everywhere. And then he changed again. This man can't stick to one job.
Hmm.
He decided to become a writer. And he started by writing pieces for the Libyan and Arab cultural press. Um, he now has 7 novels and a collection of short stories.
Mm.
And I looked for this and could not find it. Story of a Sock was turned into a short film, which won a creativity
Oh,
prize at the Cairo Short Film Festival, but it was like in 2016 or something.
oh my God! I wish
Um,
we could
and
have.
I know I looked everywhere for it. I couldn't find it. And
Oh
like
man.
I even broke Google AI because you know how when you Google something, it always brings up that little AI blurb at the start.
Mm, mm.
And Google AI is like, I have no idea what this is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mohammed Al-Asfar lives in Germany now because of the conflict in Libya. So uh, he's had to move away to be where he's safer.
You
Yeah,
said
that's all I could find about him.
you said that he was an elementary school teacher.
He
Was
started as a elementary and middle school teacher.
you know,
Yeah.
it's great. That's what that stuck out to me because I feel like a lot of these. I think it's very hard to write to a child audience. You have to do it. You have
Mm.
to do it in an imaginative way, and also like there's a degree of like moral like Easter eggs. You know, like yeah, like not
Mm.
Easter egg, but like this. I feel like there's a lot of symbolism in when you write for children. When you have this opportunity to talk about greater, bigger things, but using like trying to find like some metaphors for
Mm.
metaphors are for people that very complex things, and if you it takes a lot of skill to come up with a good metaphor so everybody understands. And I feel like
Mm.
when you're a writer for a child, like when you have a child audience, it you have to be a lot more creative in terms of like a child might not understand the the social stratification system or economy or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
but you could house that into some kind of more approachable thing. So I like that's why I like is like when I read this story and I realize that he's and not when you said that he was an elementary school teacher, I can see that because
Mm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
quite like it's like it's like a sock. It's a story about a sock, but it goes much deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot to unpack. But I mean, I think us we could read this. We could discuss this story as we're going to do on multiple levels, different lenses. But I think the story by
Mm-hmm.
itself, I think a second grader could read it or a third grade, like
Yeah.
and still, it's very enjoyable for them
Yeah.
because it's vivid and and it's a lot of personification
Yeah.
uh, and scenes and things like that. But so I was like, it doesn't make sense. In a long-winded way, I understand that he worked with kids. Coming from someone
Yeah.
who also works with the youth, I can see that. That's a good skill to have and helps
Mm-hmm.
so much as a writer. So and here we are to his
Here we
story, the
are.
story of a sock.
Yeah.
So
Um,
oh, I'm sorry.
this,
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
yes.
I s- I just want to put out there that this is the first time we're going to be doing in the realm of magical realism.
Mm.
Both of these stories we're doing, the long and the short, are dealing with fantasy, but also just there's elements that are you know super real and but also this elements that go into fantastical,
Not physically possible.
not physically possible. So we this is the first time we'll be featuring stories like this. I don't think we had anything so maybe in the fantasy realm so much.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but I always like magical realism is such a cool. I because it's coming from me, like I think Shiny's a lot more. Um,
I read
she has a lot.
fantasy all the time.
Yeah, she reads a lot of fantasy. I don't. I'm more of like realist fiction and things like that. So, but I like for me, that's a sweet spot. So
Mm.
I don't really read a lot of nonfiction, but I do love historical fiction. So this is
Mm.
my entryway to fantasy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, carry on.
Um, we Itchy and I in the past have had a thing about stories or books that start with good first lines. And I think the first sentence of this is just really nice.
Yeah.
It's because it's also, I don't know if this is just the way that it was written for the particular website where it is, or if the story itself always has these ellipses, but it's like, I am a cheap sock. That's how I read
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm gonna read it for like that for the rest of my life.
it. And I loved that. I was like, oh, that's such a great opening.
Yeah. Oh,
um
I wanted to read like that.
I need to see. I didn't do
That
any
sounds.
searching to see
I
if
feel
it
like
existed in
that's like
this.
a sock at a AA meeting.
Yeah.
I am an alcoholic. The same
Yeah.
inflection. I am a cheap sock. Like, hello, cheap sock. Thank you for being here.
Would you like to share?
Yeah.
I don't. Um, but yeah, this sock has quite the story to tell.
Mm.
Um, it's. I wrote a question, like just based on that first sentence. I was like, how do we assign value?
Mm-hmm.
This sock is cheap because it only cost half a dinar, and it was industrially manufactured in a, you know, cheap way. Um, the profit margins are, redistributed to the elements of production. Like, it's not a sock that somebody's making a lot of money off of. It's not a sock that has been, hand knit for all the time that takes out of really expensive wool. It's just a cheap sock. And it goes to uh, a poor couple. They're a manual laborer and his wife. And, they're just ordinary people living in a small apartment,
Mm-hmm.
but they were very happy together. And I said to Itchy when we like talked about doing this story that it feels like it's the opposite of our short from last week, where we had a couple who were unhappy because the husband wanted more from, like, just wanted more. And here you've got this couple that doesn't have anything, but they're happy.
Appreciative. Yeah. Yep. Yep. It is. It's like a mirrors. Mirrors. My favorite.
Mira.
Your favorite word. I say.
Bingo tick.
So yeah, and I feel like it almost like reflects the first opening because he is almost like
Mm,
the like he's like, I'm a cheap sock, but I'm loved. Like I'm a cheap garment. I mean I'm this like I'm not, I don't really have value in a traditional sense. If this was like, there's a lot of personification in there. If this was
mm,
if this sock could be placeholder for I am a somebody. I because I work in education, we don't get paid that much. So it's like, if I'm a school teacher, I'm a
mm.
simple school teacher, but I have a class that's full of students that really look forward to seeing me, and I get value from my job. It's almost like
Yeah.
this that same kind of feeling. Um, so and then this is a new marriage.
Yeah. Because the sock describes them as the bride and the groom.
Yeah, so this seems right off the pew.
Yeah,
Not the
right
pew.
off the pew. They're in this apartment together. Maybe it's, they've just moved in together after their
Mm-hmm.
marriage. Um and the sock is, it's funny because you think about socks as being something you put on your feet. But this sock talks more about hands than feet. Um the sock is really descriptive of the bride and her hands and how she washes the sock. Um, she was gentle when
Mm-hmm.
she when she scrubbed it, she didn't use soap that was harsh. Um and she used warm water, um
Mm-hmm.
and she was sure to secure the sock when she hangs it out to dry.
Mm-hmm.
um and these people clearly live in the city in Benghazi. um and the sock is very happy with that treatment.
Yeah, and then probably like it
um
doesn't really have. I don't. When she goes, she's washing these clothes. Like if she was washing this expensive shirt that has
mm,
handling instructions, right? Like you would,
mm-hmm.
like you have pieces of clothing. I'm sure you have shiny that say they have requirements like no tumble
Yeah,
dry only.
all my
Uh,
tights.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like so, but she, it's like that's like an indicator in reading this the second time, that she, when somebody is doing that to things that maybe are not as much value, it shows that first of all they're trying to preserve it, and it doesn't, even if it's poorly made, that it could, this person is this bride or this person is handling it like almost like an expensive garment.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
so it,
I
and
think I think some of
and
that.
you have to know how to. I think like if you, it's like you don't know how
Yeah,
to, you have to know how to wash clothes like that. I think
yeah,
if you only could afford secondhand hand me down clothes, then you're washing in a way that your knowledge of washing clothes is reflective of what you have. Like you know how to take care of something because you don't have much of it.
yeah.
So like is this
Yeah, that's exactly
yeah.
that's exactly what I was about to say, was that, she's washing these clothes to get life out of them.
Yeah, yeah. Um
And it's interesting because the way this is written, the sock is so appreciative of it that the sock will tell the wind about it, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um it it describes her fingertips that were dyed with henna, how she scrubbed slowly as if she were chewing gum with her polished teeth. Like, the sock clearly, the woman has, I guess you could say, affection for the sock, in that she is treating it with care, trying to extend its life because they can't afford to just go buy new socks all the time. And the sock in turn is appreciative of the woman and,
Mhm.
like, sees her as this beautiful human, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. Um and then when we talk about this, well, I'll reserve those comments to the end of the story. But we, just bear in mind, listeners, to think about this relationship between inanimate objects, empathy for
Mm.
things, that there's empathy shown for material possessions, which could be bad sometimes. It could
Yeah.
people could be obsessive about things that don't matter. But this is different. I feel like this is the more wholesome side of taking care of your
Yeah.
stuff. Like this is not like the guy taking care of, or I say a guy, if I, the person taking care of their, I don't know, expensive car, or and I get that
Yeah.
too. But it's like some people get obsessed, like don't touch my car, don't look at it, like that.
Yeah. I think it's the difference between monetary value and value that doesn't come from how much something costs.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Like you're putting the importance on there. But yes.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's coming for, I have a favorite hoodie. It's not, well, it wasn't a cheap hoodie, but it's not because the hoodie is expensive, or even because of, necessarily the material it's made out of. My favorite hoodie came from CERN, and I was really happy to go to CERN. So that's why that's my favorite hoodie. And
Mm-hmm.
it will always be my favorite hoodie. It doesn't matter, it's not even teal, which is shock. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, it's the value I've placed on it because of what it represents to me. not not you know, it's not some big name label. It's just some,
Yeah, yeah, and it's like,
standard hoodie that got stitching put on it, you know.
and the story, like you put this attachment to this material, but it's like
Hmm.
this, the magical realism part of the story. The actual object is like showing affection too. The object
Yeah,
realizes.
I don't think my hoodie has any affection for me.
You never know.
Maybe, maybe.
But like, what's this part over here? This is the skinny socks hanging up under the cupboard mirror.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like, why did the author say that? Did you get that part?
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure on this. To me, I was going to bring that up. I was like, what are these skinny socks? And I wonder if these socks are
Like
I
the
had two thoughts. I thought they were stockings because um if you saw like stockings hanging, they might look like socks, but they'd be very, very skinny because stockings are very, very thin, you know. So when they're not on a person, they shrink up to be very, very skinny. So that was one thought. The other thought was these are kind of like everyday socks and they maybe don't have as much care taken to them. Like they're maybe the socks that the man wears to work or something.
I thought it the other way. When I think of like skinny socks, I think of like dress socks. They're more expensive, and
Okay.
maybe it's like the cheap sock is like looking at the it's almost like somebody um I don't know, like if you're at a restaurant and you're in an expensive restaurant, but you never really go there that
Mm,
much. So you're sitting there and you see other people at the restaurant and you're like, ah, okay, look at me. I'm just like you today.
mm-hmm.
Like even though I don't go here, like maybe somebody goes to the steakhouse every night for dinner. It's like, it doesn't give it a
Mm.
thought, but you're there for like Valentine's Day or, or you're there for was one of thing, but you feel like you're amongst people that you at that at that moment you level up. And I
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like the cheaper sock is going, yeah, yeah, look at me, I'm hanging up with you guys. And I'm taking care of like just
Yeah.
like you guys have washing instructions and different designs, and I'm just this plain thing, but I'm still here with you. So it's like I feel like this like a proud type of moment for the that's what I got from it. Like
Yeah, I think so.
I'm good enough to be here too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I feel like there's a sense of pride. But as the story goes on, the sock
Well,
is the
the sock
this
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 the
holiday's ending.
bride yeah, the bride can't look after the sock one day.
Yeah.
She's not doing the washing. Um she was unwell, perhaps she was pregnant, but for whatever reason, it was the groom who did the washing and he used cold water, so it wasn't as pleasant an experience. Um, he scrubbed very roughly. It was
Mm-hmm.
physically painful to the sock. It almost frayed the sock's threads, um, and almost ruined the elastic around the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this sock definitely felt the brutality. And, it could be that whereas the bride feels affection for the sock, or because the bride is trying to extend the life of the sock, she takes care, but the groom is just trying to get a job done.
Oh my god.
And he's not putting any effort into it other than must clean socks. That's his whole
This
thing.
is this is this is way too real for me right now. No, it's true. Like I like it you my wife has something like some things she's like, can you make sure this can you open this? But she would always preface it like, please don't Lenny it. And Lenny is a reference to of Mice and Men because Lenny like was so big he
Oh,
would break things
yeah.
or kill things. So she was like, don't Lenny it, please don't Lenny it, because I'm a little rougher with stuff. And
Mm.
in some like I if maybe I there's a piece of clothing and it has a thread, and I'm just gonna yank it out, and she's like, no, pick it, get it in one hand, get the scissor, and then cut it where this the connects to the thing. Make sure you're not cutting too much. And I'm just like, let's just take the shit out, and then I ruin it. And this is that's but so I see that in that little section right there. It's just I don't think it's. I'm not saying that the groom was bad. He wasn't, but
No.
it's just a different. And plus, like you don't really, if you're there, and you know it because Shiny, you have people sometimes, take care of your place and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have certain ways you do things, and you could tell when someone just kind of goes over it too fast or doesn't take the
Yeah.
time out. And then so it's you could almost you could tell when somebody when there's another a new pair of hands on things
Yeah.
in the way it's something if you're getting your house cleaned or something like it can be something that usually you do make sure that you handle is out of place or left open or not put neatly. You could tell a lot. You could tell a lot about the person about, what they leave behind, which is kind of speaks to both stories.
Yeah.
How they leave it, how that thing is left, or how what it's done. Like that sock is like I'm sure the bride was like, oh, I could tell you washed this sock because it's all messed up now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, why is it all stretched out?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but she doesn't really get a chance to do that because when the sock gets hung up by the groom, he does not fasten it
Nope.
and it blows away.
Yeah.
And I think it's very interesting because, now the sock is not in a place where it is cared for and loved. It's off out in the world and it
Mm-hmm.
lands in the yard of an elegant house.
Mm.
So it's gone from a poor couple's apartment to a wealthy family's house.
This sock has experienced upward mobility, which
In
is
a way,
crazy.
yeah.
The sock got a promotion.
Um, but it's there and it finds like it comes upon the laundry room of the house. And this laundry room has this beast in it, according to the sock. It's this loud rumbling machine.
Mm.
And it has never seen this before. It doesn't
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but it didn't want to be put into it. It knows that.
Yeah.
This house has servants,
Yeah.
um, which, again speaks to the vast difference in wealth level
Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to where the sock came from.
Mm-hmm.
There are colored silk socks um, hanging,
Yeah. So
beautiful.
you're seeing different kinds of materials. Like
Hmm.
there's an upgrade. It's not only that the house and all that, but also the possessions
Yeah.
have up leveled up.
And the sock decides to ask them about it in sock language, which I thought was funny. Um, it wanted to know about this vessel that's devouring the clothes, and they don't understand really because um now the sock can't talk properly because it's got holes in it around the big toe. So I guess it'd be like if somebody lost some of their teeth and the way they spoke changed. Um, but finally they understand one another, and the silk socks say that it's a washing machine imported from overseas. Um, so, again, these people are wealthy enough that they can not only have a washing machine, but they can have a washing machine they imported.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And I always like to, and it's cool. That's the I guess the magical realism part of it too. Is like because we're getting this personification occurring. The sock is taking on human characteristics. It's showing like doesn't know what that machine is. It's projecting fear because it's like I'm
yeah.
gonna be in this thing. Is it gonna eat me? Am I gonna die?
Hmm.
So it's like it's very
Yeah.
cool. Like such a it's a to us it's a laundry machine, but to the sock it's the sock hasn't seen that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's dangerous.
yeah, yeah. So cautiously I went near it. I like that line.
Yeah.
Um,
But the sock, decides it doesn't want any part of that machine. Um and realizes that, its its people couldn't have a machine like that. They couldn't afford a machine like that.
how does it know though? That's I mean I know it's a story, but like it's like I'm trying to figure out like how it went from not knowing what it is to the sock associating wealth with it.
Well, it could be because uh the silk socks told it was from overseas. I mean,
Okay.
I would certainly assume if you said to me, "Look at this book I got. It's from overseas." I would automatically assume it cost you more money than a book you got at Barnes and Noble.
I see. I see. Okay. So just like so that's like the trigger word
I think
overseas.
so.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but the sock is happy they didn't have one of those washing machines. It
Yeah.
it it seems like um, the spin cycle and everything like that just doesn't look like a fun time. And I kind of could see that. I've heard my machine on a spin cycle. It sounds like it's going to take off. Um,
It's
so,
alive. It's alive.
the sock's happy being washed by 10 human fingers. That's good enough for the sock.
Yeah. And just going back, I'm reading it. When it said, I saw the colored silk sock hanging with like a peacock. Like a peacock is this beautiful, it has all the colors and it's held in place by a
Hmm.
beautiful pet. Like, so it's like this, it already knows like the stuff that is that like the regular sock knows that it's a peg, but it's a beautiful peg. So I think that
Yeah.
too, just looking at the colored silk sock, like this is looking at these other things. And I think that's also a trigger or a sign that
Yeah.
the sock's in a different kind of place. That's
Yeah,
more,
that makes
so
sense.
with money, because it's like everything is not just a regular peg. It's not just functional. It goes from functional to like aesthetically pleasing too.
Mm. Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so that's that may be another thing that the sock is understanding around them.
Yeah.
It's so funny how
Um
I'm so used to talking about the sock like it's a person now. It's
I
very easy.
know. I know. The sock is a person. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
it is. No,
Um
no, it's but that's the power of writing because you're like I'm already at what do you call that? They call that fictive stance, I believe. One of the
mm,
little things weird things I learned from film class. You take a
mm,
fictive stance is where you know something's like you're watching a movie and you know it's a movie set, but you
mhm.
make a you make a determination. You understand that it's a movie set, yet you still believe it that the events
Yeah,
in
well,
this.
I wouldn't cry at films and books if I didn't believe it a little
Yeah,
while
and
I'm
I believe it too because
experiencing it.
I feel this the socks into anticipation, or like fear
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah, because the sock keeps remembering what it's left
Yeah,
behind.
yeah. It's very sad too because it's
Hmm.
in a way it's pining over something lost. Like it's probably things like I'm never gonna go back home. So.
Yeah, it says, "Oh, what a lovely flat it was. I was delighted to cast my mind back to happy memories."
Mm, mm. That's a
And then
cool.
a
That's such a cool.
spiral hose spraying up at me. That's it gets dark real fast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is
Sorry, what were
that?
you gonna say?
No, I was like, what a spiral hose? What are we? wh-
It's a vacuum cleaner.
Oh man, no, because I was like, for some reason, I had to read that twice just to make sure. I thought
Yeah,
it got hit
because
with.
it was coiling itself like a snake, seizing hold of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Soil, dust, leaves, and scraps of paper. I was violently
So,
swallowed up into its depths.
and I
So
found
yeah,
myself within the darkness. What a
the
great.
darkness.
This
Yeah.
is great writing. You're having this is a vacuum cleaner, but this person is being it's eaten up by this thing. It's like this violent, like I don't know. You're putting the human characteristics of this vacuum from the
Yeah.
perspective of the sock as it's getting
Yeah.
it's it's almost like a horror thing at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh
It was like I had to read it twice too because I was like, "Wait, what happened?" But then I realized it was a vacuum cleaner. And the thing is, you don't think about that, right? Or I don't anyway. When I'm vacuuming in my house, I don't think of the path that is taken, you know? I'm just
mhm.
like I suck up stuff, it ends up in the canister, I empty the canister. Like that's the whole thought process for me. But it has to get from the floor to the canister through a path.
Well,
And yes.
I watched Honey I Shrunk the Kids, so I know what it feels like to be
Oh,
small. Maybe you didn't
I
watch.
watched Honey.
Maybe you didn't
I
watch that movie.
I rode the rides at Epcot.
Here we go. I am a
So
woman.
don't start with me. It was actually that was a horrific experience because it wasn't actually a ride. It was like what did they call it? A 4D film. So you sat there in the seats and the seats would occasionally move. But the worst part was a dog sneezes on you partway through and I actually got wet. Like there was spray
Oh
coming out
yeah,
of the
yeah,
seats
yeah.
onto your face. And I was like, oh my God, I'm disgusted. It was just water. But because you were watching this giant dog nose, it was bad. Anyway, sidetracked.
No, but it's not really a sidetrack. It's like you wanna you're saying like you don't think about stuff on the floor, but watching a movie like that from the perspective of being shrunken down, you start to say
Hmm.
like, wow, encroaching um, machine coming at you sounds like what it is scary.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would be
it
loud.
would be
There's
loud.
like the brush on it
Yeah.
spinning. There would
It
be maybe
it
a
moves in
light.
different directions. There's a light. Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
I think that vacuum would be terrifying ordeal.
Well, the cats think so usually.
Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, so it's cool. Like it's this. I just like the fact too, and this I think is very odd. So like you
Mm.
have two different. When people find like I'm different. Even my daughter's different. Like or my daughter sees a nice big house, and I think that she gets impressed.
Mm.
And I see a big house, and I'm just like, ugh. I don't. I'm not really impressed by it, especially if it's like super modernish. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like cozy. There's something about atmosphere that I dig. I would probably dig a
Yeah.
English cottage more than a big old mansion in Florida. But some, like,
Yeah, I would be the same. I would be the same for like me personally, but I do have a weird fascination with big like just over the top houses.
yeah. But
Um
I think that comes from I have to know, your own privilege. I grew up
yeah.
in, all both the houses, the starter home and the home went after that home, the home that, my dad purchased. They're both
Mhm.
new homes, and, My
Mm.
wife never had a new home, and a lot of this her
Mhm.
furniture was always hand me down and things like that. So like when she
Mhm.
says new, it's like they never had new. So it's just something appealing about it. But with me, I'm just like I want to have I'm more I guess attracted to older things and worn
Yeah.
things. But I just because I've experienced new and other people haven't. So
You
it's
would
a,
love the Highlands.
yeah, that's I know in Scotland, yeah. But yeah, like with this, like that's why I thought the experience with a sock was unusual because you would think like I don't know you could see I guess one maybe another like a shoe in the story would be like, ooh, wow, look at this house. It's beautiful. Look at all these things that servants and all these modern amenities and imported this and that. And the sock, and then it's like the sock sees all this, and then like in the next sentence goes, oh, I miss home. So I just
Yeah.
think it's just it says so much about the character that we're trying to portray here that it's not
Yeah.
swayed by even though it realizes it comes to a conclusion that yes, I'm in a place that's better, more expensive than where I came from, but
Mhm.
I don't like this. I see this. I feel I don't. This is almost this is not me. It's almost like the people who um I think this is good to have this in the world where
Mhm.
you look. My dad always says, you know what? I made some good money in my day. I was marketing. I was a higher up in the company. You know, I
Mhm.
had people I work with buy Rolexes. I could have bought one myself, but I'm not a Rolex guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's like I feel like the sock is saying that's in the same thing in a sense. Like these are all nice things, but
Mhm.
I'm not. This is not me. And I think this thing is rare because I think most I
Yeah.
don't know how you feel about this, Shiny, but like I think most people when we're in the presence of extreme wealth may want it or it's like you see it all over YouTube and social media where they these influencers are in these beautiful houses and talking about what they have
Mhm.
and all this stuff and you sit there and maybe say oh I'm gonna have one day I'll get to that that's a goal but this is
Mhm.
this character the sock is not doing that. I don't know, I just think it's in this day and age I think it's rare. What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I think so cuz I look at it in terms like personally. I love my flat. You know I do.
Yeah.
I never want to leave it. But I don't know. I mean, if somebody gave me like a really nice estate somewhere, would I like would I jump at that or would I be like, "No, do you know what? Good. I'm good. This is cozy. This is what I need." I'm not sure.
Mm.
I'm not sure. I mean, to be fair though, like the big houses here, if they were up in the Highlands, would still be like old and really cool. They wouldn't be like brand new builds. But I don't think like I had a new build here, a house that like we were the first people to live in it, and I hated it. I hated it.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good example there. You've had it
Mhm.
before. And
Mhm.
there's drawbacks to it. Maybe it doesn't get good
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, or this. Maybe it's just
Well,
doesn't cozy.
the rooms were small, but not in a cozy way, just in a like I
Mass market,
unhelpful way. Yeah, it was mass
like
market. Everything was
oh,
a perfect square.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. No character. It was like a floor plan.
no
Like
character.
you could either
We
have a
couldn't paint it.
plan
We
A or B.
Yeah, we couldn't paint it because when it's brand new, you have to let everything settle and like dry out because the timber that they use, the lumber that they use to build it has to kind of age and sink a bit and stuff like that. So like you have to leave the walls just primed. So everything was white.
Yeah, yeah.
Not sorry, it was magnolia. That's the color of the primer. Um there were lots of little problems too, because when you get a house that's 100 years old, it's done all of its settling. if there are things that you fix on it, they stay fixed. Um, Not that there isn't continued wear and tear, but like structurally, the thing is solid. It's been there for 100 years. It's good. With a new build, stuff's still settling in. We
Mm-hmm.
ended up with a crack in one of our walls from where
Yeah,
one side dried quicker than the
exactly.
other.
Yeah.
So,
So it's not as appealing as one would think.
no,
Yeah.
no. And Chris the Lone Star says that he
I was gonna.
relates with to the sock,
Me
and
too.
I kind of do too. Like I joke all the time that I'm bougie, and there are certain ways I'm quite bougie, but I'm a cheap sock. I am. I know this, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So
So
going the
the
sock.
sock that is in the vacuum cleaner gets emptied out of the vacuum cleaner into the rubbish bin.
Yeah.
The trash
Well.
can
Yeah.
for the
Well. It
Americans.
gets. It does. It does. It gets swallowed up by this vacuum cleaner. And this another point. Why didn't the
Hmm.
people just like me and Shiny were talking about this prior to going on the stream. I don't know, like if okay, if you have all that money, if you're like, are you looking where you're vacuuming? Is there like a certain amount of like is it maybe that's the thing? Like I want to be
Well,
so
first of
rich.
all,
I want to be so
the
rich
people
that when I'm vacuum, I don't want to look down. I'm just gonna suck shit up.
the,
Like I don't care.
okay. They're so rich, they're not the ones vacuuming.
Yeah, that's
It's
true. Yeah.
it's the servant that's vacuuming. But here's the thing, and this is something. Here's where I out myself as bougie. This is something that I've noticed because I have a cleaner. Um, my cleaner, I try to always do my dishes before the cleaner comes because my cleaner is real bad at them. Not not real bad at it. I'm sure when she's at home and she does her dishes, they're perfect. But she's there doing a job. She's not paying attention to the details as much. She's like, right, I have a
Mm-hmm.
set amount of time. I have to do this task and I have to move on. And so everything gets done efficiently, but not always
We're loving it.
with exactly. Whereas if I'm doing my dishes, I'm looking at each spoon, fork, whatever, making sure it's very clean. I'm bad sometimes. I leave things sit for a bit, so I know stuff needs to kind of soak off. But I do that because it's my own stuff. So if you're a servant and you're working in a house, you're just
Mm-hmm.
trying to get your job done. You're
Exactly.
not thinking about, the care and concern like the woman when she washes the sock by hand. You're just like, I have to vacuum this house. I have to do the laundry. I have to dust. How do I get this done as quickly as possible? Because I want to be done for the day and put my feet up. And,
Yeah. Plus, you don't know what the situation is because you could be you are gonna be working for someone in vacuuming, going, "Well, I didn't get that bonus this Christmas, so I'm gonna vacuum blind. Oop,
yeah.
I got the cat. Oh,
Oh no,
oh,
not the cat.
look that ring. Oh, looks expensive.
Oops. Don't know. Well, they can buy another one.
They could buy another one. So it's like it's like a lot of it's like you don't know with it. Like it's maybe it's that when you pay for some of the they could be there's other factors that go along. When service is done for you, service is contingent on how you're treated sometimes, right? Like
Hmm.
the people, if you have people
Yeah.
do services for you, usually if you treat them well, they treat you well back, and vice
Yeah.
versa. So we don't know if that
Well,
if
that is
if
very clear because the
if
same
that was
cleaner that
passive
cleans my
aggressive
flat,
vacuuming.
yeah, it could have been the same cleaner that cleans my flat cleans my neighbor's, and I know it's more work, but the cleaner loves doing it because the cleaner loves my neighbor. So there you
See,
go.
there you go.
Yeah. So after this, just being sucked up into the vacuum cleaner, the sock gets emptied into the bin,
The
and
trash bin,
this is the trash can for the
garbage can.
Americans,
Yeah.
garbage can. But so this is my favorite part of the magical story. Not that a sock is speaking. That's not it. It's that it just so happens that the person who collects the garbage, the garbage man, is the groom.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And
This has like a.
and he he picks up the bin, empties it into the truck, and he catches sight of the sock.
He's like, get the hell out of here.
It's my sock.
Yeah. Very. What was that? What's that author? Um, the gift of the Magi.
Magi. Oh,
Magi.
Henry.
Oh, Henry. Very O. Henry type of
It is. It is a
scenario.
bit of an O. Henry kind of finish on this
Yeah.
story. But yeah, it just so happens. So this is another reason why I think they're newlyweds. It's it says the that morning the bridegroom's holiday was over. I think they were on their honeymoon.
Mm.
They're not rich, so they didn't go anywhere, but they were off work together as honeymoon time.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back to work, and it's his first day back at work, and he is a garbage man, so he is going to gather garbage, and he empties this garbage can into the truck that he is driving around and sees the sock. And
Mm-hmm.
he, grabs it. It's his sock, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it's just lovely because he hands it to his wife and she recognizes the sock straight away. Um and yeah, she I love this. She whooped with joy, then made sure her husband was not under a spell. She brushed the dust off me, gave me a kiss, and put me on her hand as if I was a glove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This sock also had some imposter syndrome. Maybe like it doesn't think that it could go above the waist. It's not important enough to go above the waist. Or something like it's like I feel like it's I'm also on the ground and no one sees me, or I look at the world, just looking on top, at the world is this place. I'm not like it's almost like if you think about that in like a very abstract sense, it's like it's maybe this understanding of where you're placed in the world. Think of a sock is on a foot. You're on the bottom. If you're
Mm-hmm.
going through life, you're elevating, right? What is
Mm-hmm.
upward mobility? You get more money and afford more things. You may see
Mm-hmm.
yourself at the bottom and not think you can go to the top, or
Yeah.
sit in that nice restaurant, or be in that place where maybe people who are in a better station in life could go to. So I think
Yeah.
that her putting the sock on her hand is like, wow, like I can go up here. I thought I was only down. So I feel like there's like a little symbolism there with this where you think you are in the world, and in the importance of your confidence in the sense that you're able to see yourself there. Like you're not
Mm-hmm.
you're not like going, oh, I'm not good enough. Obviously this bride thinks the sock is not this it's not the colorful Tommy Bahama sock that was on the line that was on the
I'm sorry, what?
Tommy Bahama. It's Tommy Bahama. I don't even know. Is that a good brand? I don't know. Like.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, they have it over here. It's Tommy. I think I don't know if anybody here is Tommy Bahama like upscale. Maybe from my ass, but I
As I
bet
say, maybe
Calvin
in
Klein.
Florida.
Calvin
No, I'm
Klein.
just saying.
Like
Calvin Klein, I understand.
Okay, okay, okay. But I better less obscure reference.
Maybe it's not. I've, haven't lived there for 17 years.
Yeah, maybe a Gucci or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
the sock in a sense is this personification doesn't feel is having a complex, like doesn't feel that it's like it could be among the the name brand goods, or even like
Mm-hmm.
be above that, and also be in like a literal sense be like higher up in the body. like higher up
Yeah.
in if the at that moment maybe the human,
Hmm.
it represents the scale, like this wealth, the economy scale, like the
Yeah.
so like the low the lowest part, the lowest limb is would be poor, and then
Hmm.
middle class would be the hands, middle upper class. So she by putting the sock on her hand, she's elevating him out of it, or we say him or it,
Yeah.
the sock
It.
out of it. Yeah. So it's such a cool. There's a lot of things going on here representing
Hmm.
um how we view things, the
Yeah.
meaning we give objects.
Hmm.
Um, I remember like it's just my in-laws are from the Philippines.
Hmm.
They spent most of their lives there. They came over here in their 50s, so that's all they know, and they have a different approach to material items than I do. We may get rid of
Oh.
something, and they're like, no, we'll take that. And like there was a cart that was broken,
Hmm.
and they're like, no, we'll take that. And I went over there the next time I went over there, they were using it in the garden for stuff that they were doing, uh,
Oh.
for plants, and they're taking like
Mm.
filling with mulch, and they found a use for it. It was not just a cart that
Hmm.
we had left over. It wasn't broken to them. So they
Yeah.
rebranded it to something else, and I think that we do that. And they also save things. I would go to my in-laws. My father-in-law has a cooler. It says beer on it.
Hmm.
This his beer? It's a cooler. My wife told me that cooler is like it's from like they when they moved to America in 1991, and they still have it, a little cooler.
Wow.
And it's like they take care of it, and they put beer in it
Yeah.
still, and it's like and like another family would have like went through 20, like I've went through like 20 coolers, and
Yeah.
I threw them away, or I didn't think. I was like, oh, I can get another one. This is a cheap one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't that. I don't think even the manufacturer thought that someone would keep that cooler that long, but they do, because in the Philippines you may not come across that thing
Yeah.
again. So
I don't know why my mom well, so my mom has that a little bit, but I'm not sure why, because she never lived anywhere but America. And, she grew up as a child with a father who owned his own business,
mm,
quite a successful business. He had season tickets to the Bears so that he could take his clients to the game whenever he wanted.
mm-hmm.
Um, but maybe it came from, when she married my dad and they didn't have a lot. But like when she moved back home after the divorce, she used that time to buy things that would last a long time.
Yeah,
She would
yep.
spend a little bit more money on an item and then she would use it for decades. Like she still uses the rice cooker that she bought when I was 6. She still uses it today. The only thing she's had to do is replace the cable, like the power cable, because that frayed. But I mean, it's a good brand. It's a Zojirushi, which is a great Japanese brand of rice cooker. She spent quite a lot of money on it when she bought it, but she's been using it for 40 years.
Yeah, I once forget about it. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, and I think that so it's just a lot of, I guess, there's a lot of symbolism at the core of the
Mm.
story. It's like take care of what you have.
Hmm.
Not knowing where you are, like not feeling that because it's like just it's the it's an atom and it's a sock. It's not human, but the sock is feeling that it's not important, but it is important because it's given importance by the people who own it, or
Hmm.
who
Hmm.
have it, acquire it. So we like, what is that? That speaks to like some deeper questions, like why do people that have a lot lose this connection to material possessions? Or they they lose empathy altogether for things, which carries over to people at some
Yeah.
point. And
Yeah, I think that is I'm not saying that happens to every single person with wealth, but I think that certain levels of wealth are more likely to bring that. And, I've you do see it, like people with money that almost seems unlimited, they don't care if something breaks
yeah,
because they
yeah,
can just get a new one. Oh, well, I had this car, but then they released a new model, so I'll just buy a new one. And it's like I can't do that. I do it with phones, but that's it. I couldn't do that with other things. I can't buy a new computer every year just cuz I have to make this computer last.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. And,
which means taking care of
so
it.
what it begs the question: with innovation, do we lose the sense of appreciation? If things get,
Mm,
we have the bigger and better version, do we not care about it? Do we see, um, because, and how does that affect our lives?
yeah.
Does that spill over into our human relationships? Do
Yeah.
we not have put any I don't know, what's the word I'm
Well,
looking for? That's
I
like, do we put any importance on human relationships if we're so careless with our materials? Like, we
I
just get another
have
one. I think the super rich. I always
yeah.
associate super rich with loneliness.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
agree.
like, you get to a point where it's like, yeah, I could just get that. I could just get, and then
The
what's more you can say? Like, I could just get this other friend. I could just get this other
yeah.
person,
You know
wife, husband.
Joyce Carol Oates
Yeah.
that we read. So the I mentioned that she was having little like Twitch flame wars with Elon Musk. Um the thing she said to him was he had no friends because he had to buy them. And that is kind of accurate because you know if if you get so rich that you become like untrusting of people, you lose your empathy, you know, no friend is going to be a true friend to you,
Or you're not gonna know the difference.
or you're not going to know the difference exactly.
Yeah, you just have a bunch of yes men around you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like. Are they there because they care for you, or they're because you offer them something else, some monetary
Yeah.
value? Yeah. So how do we I feel like, this Zach had a taste of the upper life, the upper crust,
Yeah.
and didn't like it, and saw that
No.
it was not like they were careless. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it got sucked up by a vacuum cleaner. Like,
Yeah.
it sucks. Like, if I don't know. I if to me, I associate, if you're looking at what you're vacuuming, you
Mm-hmm.
I could tell like how much money you have. Like, if you're vacuuming, like, if you don't care what's on the floor, and first of all, I'm thinking like, I'm gonna ruin this vacuum by if I suck up something that's bad.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'm more concerned probably myself about the vacuum,
it's gonna go,
reason
and I'm like,
because
oh my god,
that's expensive.
yeah, that's
So I don't
expensive.
want to mess that
Yeah,
up.
if I mess with this vacuum, I'm gonna get another vacuum. But if you have a lot of
Yeah.
money, you don't care, and you just want to get something done, you don't care. You're like, you sucks. At least that thing will make a noise, of short out, and then you're like, oh, let's get another one. So the fact that, then if you're
That
not even doing the act, and you have somebody else doing it, that's
yeah.
even more variables.
Yeah. I'm
So,
laughing because the reason I replaced my last vacuum is because it was shooting electric sparks while I was vacuuming, and I was like, that's probably not a thing I want to keep doing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, but it's like, it's if I look down when I vacuum. A dime.
Hmm.
I saw there was. I was doing yesterday. It was a dime on the floor. I picked it up. There was like a little,
Oh
like,
yeah, see, if you're rich, you just suck up the dime. You don't care. It's just a
yeah, it's a
dime.
dime. No, but it was like, there was other things. There was small things. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I vacuum for a little bit. I get on my knees and I'm like looking around. I'm like, okay, I can't take that up.
Is that how you found your ear pod?
No, no, no. That I found that was actually cleaning the bathroom. I said it was behind
It was
something.
in the bathroom.
Yeah, I was on the counter. I can't get a vacuum on the counter.
No, that's true. Well, unless you have a handheld.
Yeah, yeah. But it was like if
Anyway.
but anyway, like but I think it's one of those things. Like I could tell who you are by how you vacuum. It's like there's some truth to that. Amy Crash said, "Never mind." Throughout a Dyson vacuum cleaner, I asked him if I could have it. I took it apart, cleaned it, bought new filters, and it's been working for almost a year. And yes, it's like, what is another person like people?
Yeah.
That just get rid of things and it's nothing to try to fix it.
It's funny, Amy, because the vacuum cleaner that was sparking was a Dyson, and I just bought a new one. Partially though because someone had recommended me this newer vacuum cleaner for pet hair. But I haven't thrown away the Dyson. The Dyson is still here because I'm convinced somebody could probably fix it and use it. So I keep meaning to put like a post on our neighborhood chat saying, "Does anybody want this? It's not working currently, but I'm sure you could get it serviced or fix it and it would work again."
Mm-hmm.
So that's really funny that you mentioned that because I think probably this vacuum cleaner has life in it still, which is why I haven't thrown it away.
Why do you think people go to like hang around unless you're like a private investigator, hang around like the garbage, the dumpsters of in affluent neighborhoods? Because people throw away
Yeah.
everything. People throw away whatever they
Yeah.
want, and it's not even
Yeah.
broken. It's just stuff like they. But it's like I feel like it's so analogous to life. Like if you're throwing
Yeah.
away, if this people out there that throw away a vacuum because the light didn't go on
Hmm.
anymore. It was like it works fine. They paid
It's
about
like
eight
maybe
hundred
the light
dollars.
bulb just burnt out.
Electrolux vacuum cleaner, and it's like the light bulb is like I don't want to use it. It's the light's not working. They throw it away. You have this perfectly great upper like level like top tier vacuum that costs a lot of money.
Hmm.
But they throw it away, and so it says a lot about the person too. At that point,
Yeah.
if they're willing to throw away something that it takes like $5 to replace a light,
Yeah.
if they're willing to throw away a $900 vacuum, how are they looking at how are they
Yeah.
going through life? Like how are they looking
Yeah.
at are they looking at friendships that way too?
Yeah.
Jobs?
That that makes me laugh because I like to tell people that I bought a brand new car because my old car's battery died.
Mm.
But there was more to it. The battery died because the car's electric system was shorting out, and it would have cost a lot of money to replace that. So
Are you, why? She's having
what?
you're having guilt. You're having guilt all these years.
No, no, no. My dad essentially gave me the car, and he gave it to me because he didn't want to replace the electric system either.
Yeah.
It would have been so expensive to fix.
Yeah.
Um, yes, but shall we move on?
Yes. Very nice ending. Um.
Yeah, it's a rare happy ending for us. We don't usually have happy.
No. No. Well, yeah. We have like
There's usually a lot of death in our stories.
that
This one turned out okay.
as a sock. All right. Not gonna go wrong with
The
that.
stock is good. Um, we have another new author for our next story.
Yes.
Kenan Orhan. Kenan is young, possibly the youngest person we've read. I'm not sure because I couldn't find out his actual age because there's next to nothing about this man
Mm-hmm.
online. um, he is a Turkish American writer, and he won the O. Henry Prize, actually.
Oh wow.
His short stories have appeared in a multitude of publications, including the Paris Review. Um, and they've been included in an anthology, The Best American Short Stories. Orhan got an MFA from Emerson College, and he currently lives in Kansas City. And that is really it. Oh, he has one novel. He just had a novel release. not
No.
too terribly long ago. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's not much about this guy
Well,
online
I'm always
at all.
I'm very proud of that. We sometimes we hop around centuries
Mm-hmm.
often in these short
Mm-hmm.
stories. Um, and I like to, we have some authors have books like books written about their books,
Yeah, that's true.
or some biographers has
Or or they're like the subject of lectures at
yeah, yes.
universities.
So like we have the leaders of the canon, and then
Hmm.
we have people who are maybe lesser known and or new modern and or also experiencing some like recent discoveries, like what do we
Hmm.
what was it the Jenny Aranjo, what's her name?
Julie Oranger.
Julie Oranger. I always get her wrong. Yeah, so Julie Oranger had this had we did two of her short stories. Now she's got
Hmm.
picked up by Netflix or with it Netflix or
Yeah.
HBO for a
Yeah,
series.
she has a Netflix series. Yeah.
Yeah, so like so it's I always think it's cool. I don't see like you don't we don't although we always appreciate Shiny's small bios. I do appreciate this fact that sometimes these authors are right now they're experiencing they're new authors that they don't have a lot of stuff going on
Hmm.
there and they're in their work. So maybe one day somebody will read a story on here and be like, oh my god, we read that story and it's Quarter Book Club, and now like they have a big Netflix series or the HBO or a movie based
Hmm.
off something. I remember reading the story, so we're jumping around all. We're seeing different elements of the grind of the writer's grind,
Hmm.
so to
The
speak.
writer's grind.
Yeah, but without further ado, I was just is this the longest title ever
I
long?
think it might be the longest
And
title
it's a
and
beautiful,
possibly the hardest to say.
phonetically beautiful too.
The Beyoğlu Municipality Waste Management Orchestra. When I picked the story of a sock, I did not know what this story was about. Obviously, it has waste management in the title, but I also didn't know that Story of the Sock had a garbage man in it.
Yeah,
So
garbage
I'm
person.
greatly amused that we have garbage people in both of our stories.
Yeah, this it links up.
Hmm.
Nice.
Um, so this story starts with a story, actually.
Yeah.
Um, the narrator of this story is being told
Mm-hmm.
about a man named Salim
Mm-hmm.
who became a hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
His wife died, and everyone figured that that's why he suddenly took up hoarding. Because he started to, he was also a garbage person, and he started pulling things out of the garbage
Mm-hmm.
when he was gathering it. Small things at first, maybe that reminded him of his wife, but then it got out of hand to the point where his entire house was full of things he had pulled out of the garbage.
Can I list a couple of those
Um,
things too?
yes,
Shiny,
please
yes,
list
and
them.
I really want to work. I want to like tell this story the way it is because it's so
Hmm.
detailed and beautiful that it's like
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to Shiny guiding us through here. But I'm gonna pop in here and there and say some of this stuff verbatim because
Yeah,
it's
please
really
do.
yeah. Okay, this person collected old tattered books, bicycle bits, apple cores. This is when it gets weird. Orange peels. Like it's like once you go from stuff from like stuff that can't rot to rotting, to food. This
Yeah,
is
that that's a problem.
yeah, it's sprinkled in here. Broken printers, smashed up furniture, crumpled cartons and boxes, hundreds of pounds of paper, pens, eyeglasses, eggshells, water bottles, shoes with holes, sleeping bags with urine stains, jackets too small,
Oh,
jackets too large, bed frames, filing cabinets, coffee mugs, coffee grounds, on all this stuff. So why? Okay, we have all this stuff. It seems like a lot of stuff, Shiny, right? It's like it's gonna.
Yeah,
There has to be some more. Someone you can't. How do you store this in this house? Eventually, something you
yeah,
have to do something, right?
yeah. Well, he put boards up between the ceiling beams to make a second floor to store more of it. Um, but yeah, eventually the house frame collapsed under the weight of all of this stuff
And
and killed him.
it killed well, it wasn't a fast death. It was like a very I would say like a glorious ending
Yeah.
because what
Yeah, it says killing him not instantaneously, but swiftly enough to confuse him into believing in his delivery.
like he saw this as my wife is gone, and then now all these possessions have now I've become the garbage too in ways like
Mm.
I'm encased, or I'm what do you say that, not encased, um en-
No, he's
but when it was when the
buried by it.
buried, yeah, I'm buried alive by my
Engulfed.
engulfed, yes, engulfed by my hobby, or
Yeah.
my habit here, engulfed it.
Yeah. And
uh
and the garbage men like laugh about this as
yep.
they tell this story,
Yeah,
which
because okay, so it goes back.
I'm unsure of how accurate this story is, if it's one of
Well,
those urban legends.
yeah, it's like it seems like that this we're told the story in the beginning of the story, within the story.
Hmm.
These garbage men are talking about it like it's some mythology. I guess
Hmm.
this is normal for garbage people to talk about these old wise tales. So they're
Yeah.
laughing, and it's like, so it's two people here, right? There's two men, and then
Yes.
this
Yes.
younger woman.
And then
She's
a
that
young
one.
woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And they
what
say to her, "You are doubly at risk because a woman hoards more than a man." I
which
was
is
like,
which is yeah, which is
hold
true.
on a minute.
It's true though. It's true though. I heard that statistically. Yes,
No, that's okay, fine.
it's true.
Statistically, I'll let you have.
No, it says no. It's like it's. I've read that somewhere. I'll pull the source.
Googling that later.
Yeah, Google source me out. Um. So and then one of them had like this
Well,
very one of them has like this very reflective fortune cookie moment. It says,
yeah.
we make light of
We
of a truth. There's some deeper meaning to the story. This kind of moral,
yeah.
this moral at the moral center of the story. It says, it is easy to find the merits in another's garbage, if only because it reminds us of the mortality of our own legacies, which is which is
That's a good
deep.
line.
Yeah,
That's a really good line.
that's a really nice
Especially
line.
to come out of nowhere from a bunch of guys who were just joking around a minute ago.
Yeah, I mean, can I wonder if can I copy that and put it in the
Yeah.
maybe. Oh, maybe it's not copying in the chat. You're not allowed to. Oh, okay. I didn't
You can
copy.
if you go to the website where you got it.
I copied it. It just didn't. I'm separating now, but that's
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
If you really want to see that, we make light of the truth. They use to find merits in other garbage, only because it reminds us of our own legacies. Yep, very nice.
Yep.
So, and go on.
Well, so the woman is very like, oh yeah, uh-huh, haha. Um, but she, goes off to find her particular route and the people she's working with. And she's working with two men, Hamdi and Mehmet. And they go off to do their job, collecting the
Mm-hmm.
garbage.
Yep.
And it's funny because Mehmet says to her, don't listen to them. They're always making up stories.
Myths.
Um, Myths, yeah, but it says still, it's not good to take from the trash. Once you start, there's no stopping. Eventually, you'll find yourself buried under it.
It's true.
which is
That
another
is
great line.
another, yeah, great line, and so I'm something I experienced myself. You
Mm.
get a little addicted.
Well, yeah. I mean, I find that again, I've kept that vacuum cleaner that's broken, but because it's a high dollar thing that I think could be fixed. But I also sometimes don't get rid of other stuff. I'm like, oh, not to go back to socks, but if I have a single sock, I think, man, I should just get rid of this. I'm never gonna just wear the one sock. But there's this part of me that's like, well, the other one might show up again. You know? Like,
Show up again, like it's at your door. Hi.
well, it might. Hi, I'm back. Had an adventure. But you know what I mean? Like I kinda understand this if you don't like on one hand we were talking about not just throwing away things, but sometimes stuff does need to be thrown away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah,
you can go too far the other way where you're just gathering rubbish. Um yeah, so it's this woman, I get the impression she's just starting out. So all the older fellas at this place are giving her their best bits of wisdom.
yeah, yeah. But I think there's a good bit
Um
of wisdom there. Like just be
yeah,
careful. Like like you're gonna be going to all these places, some big houses. Don't get so hung up on finding stuff because once you start, you can't stop, and then you develop a problem, become a hoarder. So so it says a day became a week, it became a month, became a year, as it happens. She's on this route with these two men.
yep, Mehmet and
This is
Hamdi.
yeah, and they're going. I love this. I love this. This little sequence here. This image. They were like kind of heavy guys, and
Yeah,
they couldn't fit. What's her name again? Can you pronounce her name? I can't. Be Beyoğlu.
that's not her name.
Oh,
That's
oh,
the
oh, oh,
place that
oh, I'm
they
sorry.
are.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, she doesn't have a name.
Bioglu is yeah, no, I don't think
Oh, she's
so.
not mentioned. Okay, so anyways, so these two men, Mehmet and Hamdi, they are like they're not looking like they're not the physical
They're not
specimens.
spelt.
Yeah, yeah,
I have a feeling they have bit of a pot belly.
they got pot
Um,
bellies, and they can't. There's some alleys that are a little thin, and they can't fit down them. Put it
yeah,
put
so
it
they give
bluntly.
her a small hand cart and they send her down the alley.
Yeah, yeah,
But
and
she's kind
and
of like
and she goes.
happy to do it.
Yeah, she's going through the alley. She's kind of like this. Um, Combing through the alleys, and they're like laughing because they can't fit down in there, and it's just
Yeah,
like their round bellies they couldn't squeeze between the buildings, and they laughed at themselves so that their laughter accentuated their jiggling bellies, which
yeah.
I this is such a
I
vivid
actually
image.
so much of this I like. It's very difficult not to just read it out because it's so beautifully written. There's so
Yeah,
many great lines in it because
yeah,
it's like I went down the alleys because I was the thinnest, but it's not hard to be the thinnest garbage man when you're a woman. I was like, oh, that's a good line too. Like they're just,
yeah,
she is in a role, in a job that
yeah,
is often, even now, often held by men.
yeah, yeah.
Um
So she's
it's physical labor, it can be hard work, but she stands out in this group
yeah,
because she's a woman.
and they're like sending her like a
Um,
little gopher, like go down there. We can't
yeah,
fit.
yeah, yeah,
Go down that alleyway. We can't. And they'll laugh. It's not like they're like. It's nothing. I feel like it's in jest. Like it's not.
hmm
They're not doing it as like you do this for us. It's more like we're too fat. Like we can't. We're too big to be in here. Like they're laughing
yeah,
too. Like we can't fit in there. I know I can't fit in there. So we're gonna have to put you in there. And I feel like it's like a good energy.
yeah,
They
yeah.
look
I
out for
don't,
her.
I don't feel like she feels abused in any way.
No,
Also,
no.
she does have a name. Her
Oh,
name is Fatima
Fatima. Okay. Shani, can you read
or
that line
Fatima.
about her going down the alley? I think it's so beautiful. About
Oh,
their small hand cart.
oh yeah, my small handcart scraped its sides against brick and stucco and stone. Sometimes my shoulders too would scrape the walls. and I was worried that over time I might erode a small Fatima-shaped tunnel into the alley, or worse, that the alley would grind me down into a rectangle.
Yeah. So I just think of this woman going down there, and it's like it's just getting smaller and smaller, and she's like
Yeah.
almost like becoming the alley.
Yeah. Um, just a slight aside. It's interesting because I've never been to Beyoğlu. I don't even know if it's a real place. It probably is. But I have been to some quite old villages in Italy. Um, and the buildings do wear because they are like sandstone
Mm-hmm.
or stucco, and you start to see the the evidence of people in that wear. Like you go up a bunch of stairs and they're all thinner in the middle than they are in, or a handrail, you can tell that people's hand have been moving along. Like you can
Yeah.
almost see the shape of a hand has run up and down it. So it seems like maybe a joke or like a funny thing to say that there would be a Fatima shaped tunnel, but there kind of might be
Yeah. I
if she
mean,
was brushing down that way every day.
in a modern context, I see it in when you cash out of the supermarket with the machine. What button is
Mm,
most is it has the most wear? It's the accept
yeah.
button. When you say accept
Mm,
payment, or
mm-hmm.
that if you look at if you're paying with a credit card or your phone, you'll notice
Yeah.
that a button will have more wear on it. Usually it's the one that's
Mm-hmm.
most used. The same thing with an ATM,
Mm-hmm.
or or anything that has to do
Yeah.
with like repeated use. So yeah, that's I mean, it happens back then, it happens now.
Yeah.
Um, so it just we start talking. It starts talking about her experiences being like literal, like her what she goes through every day. I'll read. I stopped
Mm-hmm.
at the back doors and loading zones. The garbage bins always stuffed to overflowing, but really only half full because people are very bad at the economy of space. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing's overflowing, but if they just put things in a little bit smart,
Oh,
it would only be half full.
I just a little segue.
Clearly, these people did not grow up playing Tetris. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, yeah. This little segue. I want to ask Shiny. I heard
Mm.
that in the UK or in Europe that if you don't break down your boxes for recycling, they will fine you. Is that true? Is that true?
That's not true everywhere
Okay, but it is
because
a thing though.
it is a thing, but like I could actually just throw boxes in boxes and put that out on my front walk and they'll take it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I because I had a neighbor. She told me that. This was she's like it's like she's always complaining about
yeah.
the someone at the recycling bin, someone not throwing away whole boxes, which I understand. I
Mm.
get mad too when it's very
Well,
easy to break down.
so here's the thing. So currently where I live, I have my own what we call a wheelie bin, which is one of those big bins with the lid that flips open and like you could fit a person in it. That's how big it is. And it has wheels on one side, so you can like lean it
A
back
little
and push it
foreshadowing,
along on its
a little
wheels.
foreshadowing there.
Oh, sorry. No, but but where I lived previous to this, we had a dumpster, like a communal, we call it a skip. But yeah, a communal bin that everybody emptied their rubbish into. So the trash bin, the one that didn't take recycling, you could lift the lid on it and just throw your trash in.
Mm.
The recycling one had a small door on top of the lid that you could slide boxes in. So in order to get the boxes into
Ah,
that bin,
see,
you had to break them down.
that's the way to
They
do it.
wouldn't just
They
go
should
in.
have that here anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good way to deal with it without having them. You can't trust people to do what they have to do.
Yeah. So currently, I don't have to break anything down if I don't want. It's up to me about how much space is in my one personal bin. But when I lived in that other flat, I would take all my boxes down
Hmm.
and I would stand there breaking them down and sliding it. It was like a mail slot, you know? You could only fit so much through it.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So I love that. I love that economy of space has spurred that whole conversation. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, this is the word. Just, I want to like harp on this word here. I emptied the bins into my hand cart and continued on to the next little station, on and on all afternoon until I came out the other end of the labyrinth, labyrinthian. That's how you say it, labyrinthian alleyways,
Yes.
soiled and sweating and reeking. That's a great. That's such a labyrinthian alleyways, soiled, sweating and reeking. That's such a good line.
Yeah.
So it's like I just picture this
Yeah.
mazes, like and I'm assuming because these two men can't really move and go to the places that she's doing a lot of this work.
Well,
She
I kind of think of it like
they're driving a truck.
so yeah, they're driving a truck. So they're going around kind of the perimeter of the space that she's working in.
Yeah,
And they're picking up all the bins that are around the
yeah,
perimeter.
yeah. And I,
And she's going
yeah.
like through the center and weaving in and out of the different alleyways.
There's a lot of action.
So,
That's when it's funny you say that because when I was reading this, I was like, yeah, something about it. This whole scene is like I feel the action off the scene because they're like I picture her. They're like go go go, and she's like running through these alleys, getting all this garbage, and they're probably driving around, meeting her on the other side. And then they pick her
yes.
up and then they drop her off somewhere else and then they go around the thing and read her like all of it.
Yeah.
She's running through like ducking fire escapes and grabbing things
Yeah,
at
yeah,
once and then
yeah.
like all
But
maybe it might be dark and she sees a clearing and all of a sudden her partners are there with the truck. So it's like
yeah. And I mean that is something that happens even here. Like you'll often see the truck um kind of going along the road, but then there's always guys who are off the truck who are walking up to where the bins are. And most of the time the bins are on the street, but not always.
yeah
Sometimes they have to go down a little side alley
yeah
because where the people put the bins out is
and it's
not the
quick.
main road.
It's a
Yeah.
workout. It's a workout.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
I just think it's like it's brimming with energy. This whole
Yeah.
paragraph. I see it. I picture her running through these alleys.
Yeah, I
And
don't think she's walking at a leisurely pace.
no. She's
She is
hopping and jumping and
she's
ducking and
got
weaving.
yeah, she's got work to get done and there's only so much time in the day, so she's
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so let's keep on going with this. So this is like
Yeah. So
now she now like something catches her eye. Um in the
yeah, so she's continuing to work um and one day she gets to a bin. It's it's outside a pizza place. Not that it is the bin for the pizza place, but it's outside a pizza place and it's packed with sheet music.
yeah,
Um and
not just any sheet music
she's
though.
fascinated. Huh?
It's not just any sheet music. It's like seems like it's handwritten. It's not like
Yeah.
from Mel Bay or it's not like something
No.
that someone
No, and
bought.
she says it looks like it's crumpled in disappointment.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
she's looking at this discarded sheet music and she's making assumptions about the person who threw it away.
yeah,
And I think that's very interesting. Um because she, she comes back the to Mehmet and Hamdi and she's like, look, I found this composer threw away all his work. And they Mehmet's not impressed. He's like, it's maybe not a composer. It could have been a piano teacher. Who knows? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Fatima really wants to believe that this is creation of someone.
Yeah, like you're
And
adding
Mehmet's
you're adding
just like,
story. You're adding a story to it all.
yeah, yeah, she's adding a story to it. And Mehmet's just like, it could be anything. It could just be someone was writing down, copying sheet music. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that they were writing it from scratch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but this kind of like, um, puts, it puts her on a path to kind of like, she becomes
It's
a little obsessed with
a sense of
figuring out
it
how,
develop. She develops a sense of intrigue.
well, she wants to convince her colleagues, she wants to convince Mehmet that she's correct, that it's a composer,
Mm-hmm.
that it's not just somebody who happens to have some sheet music for some reason.
Or he describes it as it could be a piano teacher or a student or some lunatic. So he
Yeah,
says
some lunatic.
he's just being very pragmatic about it, and she's like you said, wants to, like, is trying to put these pieces together. Like, no, this is different. And in her defense, she sees garbage all day, and this sticks out to her. So it
Yeah.
has to. There's some truth to its legitimacy. If she's saying this is it, this is different. It's not. It's the evidence of the toil of songwriting, which I know a lot,
Yeah.
and maybe Esra Music knows as well.
Possibly.
Trying to figure out things on sheet music, or even just writing stuff down, and lyrics and whatnot. But
Yeah.
she's hell bent on trying to figure out
Yeah.
who's living up there, and if it is
Yeah.
indeed a musician.
And she, she's convinced, she's like, maybe he's sick. Um, maybe, there's something wrong with him, because after that first law of sheet music, she doesn't find anything much in his bin.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he stopped throwing things away,
Yeah,
and this concerns her.
it raises more questions. What's going on? You had
Yeah.
his output, even though it's what maybe he would consider mistakes. It goes from having so much of the sheet music crumpled up to having nothing. So that's like anything. If you stop seeing garbage, or seeing the garbage get pushed out to the curb from your neighbor, would you inquire about your neighbor's health? Maybe, like what's going on? How come I don't see them anymore? I don't see evidence of them, so maybe they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
So, and so they what does her colleagues say in response to this?
Well, so first eh, she considers the fact that collecting the trash from the composer was nicer than the trash that she usually collects.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
feels more like she's picking up something precious
yeah,
and tending
yeah,
to it,
yeah.
not just picking up garbage. Um,
And
and
Ezra
she
Music
says,
says, or even the emotional baggage of throwing a box of lyrics. Yeah, there's an emotional toil being. There's evidence of frustration.
yeah.
And she sees that.
Um,
She sees that. So
yeah.
she's
She says, you look for small grandeurs in my line of work.
which is another beautiful
Because
line. Jesus Christ.
another beautiful line. I know, this story's full of them. And she kind of tries to ground herself as well, because she's like, trash, just trash, unadorned, unloved,
Mm-hmm.
scorned because it announces decay, and decay is the product of time, and time is the fear of all living thing.
It's
Like,
like it's like a Fight Club moment with she's like, first rule of garbage pickup: don't get attached to
yeah,
garbage.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I feel like she's like convincing herself. She has to like going
Yeah,
through the mantra that she's been taught. Like,
yeah.
don't get attached. Don't get attached.
It's just trash. It's just trash.
But she's getting attached.
She
It's already
is,
too late.
and she asks Mehmet. She's like, "Do you think he died?" And he said, "Who?" And she says, "The old composer." And he said, "Old men are in the habit."
Oh, say it again. It cut out. It said old men are in the habit of dying.
Yes, old men are in the habit of dying. That's his answer. It's accurate. That does happen.
That's something you would say.
Um,
That's such a you line.
it is kind of, isn't it?
So literal. I'll be like, "Arr." I guess I get so mad. I'll be like, yes, they are. They do die, you know. I was like, oh,
They, I mean, he was old. No, it's just
yeah.
people.
It's
People have
very,
a hard time with me because,
it's very
like,
dismissive.
when, yeah, when people who are over a certain age die, I'm just like, oh, they had a good run. Okay, bye. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will get torn up about someone younger dying, absolutely. But if they're past a certain age, I'm just like, it was their time.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um, yeah, so she's carrying on with her life. Um, she's keeping up her work, and then one day she sees a small instrument laid gingerly over a pile of clean newspapers, more precious than a pair of china cups in packaging.
And this is
So
where? This is in the front of the composers?
this is in the composer's bin again. Yeah,
So
so she
no, there's
pill-
not
she
no sheet music. Now we see it's an instrument.
yeah, so
Oof.
she
More questions.
she picks it up, and it's a violin, and it's obviously been loved and looked after, and she picks it up almost reverently, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's violin, beautiful.
You know, it's a beautiful
Handcrafted
violin.
piece.
Yeah, it's glowing. That's
Yeah,
how beautiful it is.
yeah.
Um, and she says, I had before prized a few items I found discarded, keeping them in a pocket or sneaking them into the cab of the truck, only to find them broken and dingy in the light of my apartment. So she's picked this up, thinking that maybe it will look like trash when she gets it home.
Mm.
But
But
she's convinced that it's not that,
it
it's a
retains
beautiful, perfect.
it retains its like it's almost yeah, like glowing, but it's like it
Yeah.
retains its like the shock of it all. It didn't abate, you know, the way it comes across. It didn't lessen. It's actually
Mm,
it's sparkling more. It like becomes like this thing. It's more beautiful under even without us out. Maybe it was she could have said maybe it was the way the reflection of the sun made it look like that, but she brings it
mhm.
home and it's still like that. So it's special. It's not like
Yeah.
this piece of garbage. It's actually this
No.
beautiful, well crafted piece.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's not the last one she finds.
yeah, yeah,
She every week after that, when they go to get the composer's trash, there's a new instrument. Um and she gathers them all.
yeah.
Um it was either an immaculate violin or a viola bow or a hand-carved music stand or once even a cello.
Yeah,
They're always placed delicately. They're not just tossed into this bin.
yeah. It's like they have a. It's almost like this. These instruments they have funeral rites or something. I don't know. Like they're
Yeah.
not just thrown haphazardly into like this garbage. They are kind of placed there, almost like it's like a burial. So it's like
Hmm.
you could even say that it's the same care. Like this, you could tell like if in one hand the the musician's toiling away and getting frustrated making music, and you could tell that in the way the paper's crumpled. You could tell the sense of importance that these things have based on how it's wrapped and how they're placed inside the
Hmm.
garbage. It's flat. It's always flat. It's almost like I feel like you're putting down like an animal that has been killed or something like that. Like it's lying it down with gentle and respect.
Hmm.
So it's every time he goes in, like it's not. I can see like if it was on the bottom of the bin. No, but these are like laid on the top.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
even that if these things are being thrown away, this still like you don't want another piece of garbage to be on it to mess it up. So
Yeah.
anything. It just looks like it's something that maybe doesn't want to be thrown away.
No, no, I don't think so. Um, but she brings all these things home,
Yeah.
and she describes her flat as a closet turned studio. So it's not a big space,
Yeah.
but she because it's an old mansion that was partitioned into apartment. Um, but she has access to the attic through
Well,
her.
she didn't know at first.
No, she didn't know that.
Yeah, she
Um,
she was kind of combing her, like trying to find places for all these instruments, and she came upon
yeah,
she
a
said
hatch.
a hatch in the middle of, like, in the corner of her
Yeah.
studio. She did some investigating and pulled the latch, and then it was some wood panels, and it was covered it was under the covering of stucco, and once the hatch, she pulled on the hatch, a ladder came down, and
Yep.
she was able to pull the ladder down and then climb up there,
And
and
go up
she
into the attic.
found this beautiful attic, this,
Yep.
which was more spacious than where she lived. So uh
Well, she says it was a cramped little attic, but it was spreading out over a small portion of the center of the mansion. So
yeah,
it had access through her apartment, but it went further. It was like, and we had this in the last building I lived in, actually. You got into the attic space through one apartment, but the attic space covered the entire building.
yeah, yeah, yep.
So it was bigger than the apartment that was under it because it was the whole building.
Hmm, hmm.
And this is something similar. But it's still an attic. It's not,
It's big. It's a
a
lot of space.
finished
This
space.
you can't probably you probably can't stand up, or I couldn't stand up in there. You could. Um,
Thanks. Um,
I'm saying. It's such
no, you're
short.
absolutely correct.
Yeah,
A short person can stand up in it, but a tall person probably would have to be hunched over.
yeah.
In my head, and I don't know how accurate this is because I don't know what the architecture is like over there, but I feel like it's sloped. It doesn't have
Mm,
square walls.
yeah.
It's like the space under the roof. It's not like a proper built up um room.
So I think obviously she's having trouble. She's collecting all these instruments and she already lives in a small place, so
Yeah.
she finds this new space. What do you think she's gonna do? She's gonna put her instruments up there. So
Yeah.
she
But
starts.
she works at it to give it floorboards. Because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
in my mind how this attic space works is you just have the beams of the ceiling and and there's no like floor between those beams. So if
Mm.
you went up there, you'd have to step from beam to beam.
So
But now
she wants to make it easier because she's like, you know what? I'm
yeah,
gonna.
she wants to create a floor in the attic.
Yeah, and she
Um,
does.
she does, and the neighbors notice the sound because she's been up there, putting plywood down and nailing it to the beam. And they say, quite a racket the birds are making on the roof.
Yeah. Oh, and did the neighbor tell her that?
Yeah, a neighbor told her
And she
that.
and she
And
would.
she's like, oh, yeah, maybe it's a large owl or a rodent or something.
Yeah. So she's already denying it. Good.
Yeah.
Because
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure,
she
like,
takes
she doesn't want to draw attention to herself.
no, no. She had, I think somewhere in the back of her mind, she's thinking about that story and that guy who got crushed by all of the rubbish she brought home. So, I think she's not gonna publicize that she's been gathering trash.
Yeah, and she's breaking the cardinal rule.
Yeah.
She's taking
They
trash
told her
home.
don't bring it home.
You can't, and she's gonna have to. She doesn't have to explain to her colleagues
Yeah.
that she's taking stuff home.
Yeah, exactly. So, um she actually shows Mamet a violin that she had gathered. Um and he explains to her that the city's orchestra had been ordered to compose and perform with uniquely Turkish instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it seems like the um the instruments are maybe being thrown away because the government has said you can't use those anymore
Because you're see this is what explain that because it's because they're Turkish instruments or that you
because
have
they're
to.
not Turkish instruments.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
That this okay. This
you
holds.
can't.
Okay, this starts to show there's a change. Like this is the first evidence that there's something going on in this place. I'm not
Hmm.
about to talk about her house, but there's like they're getting rid of things. You know, it's like a left turn. Like she says, "Oh, I have this. Check out this
Hmm.
really beautiful violin," and Mehmet responds, "They're getting rid of stuff." That I think that's why you're finding this in the trash
Yeah,
because the government doesn't want non-Turkish instruments. Because I just think that this is like a little. In the end of the story, I'll go into this more, but this is like this is a little dig on nationalism and how
yeah.
they want to keep everything the same, and
Hmm.
which is kind of segues into critical thinking, but that will make more sense as the story goes on. But yes, there's a weird like just keep it us. We don't want any other influences here. We don't want any other
Mm.
instruments being for other countries here. So if you have a guitar from Spain, it has to don't throw it away. So that's why it's
Hmm.
like this is like a response to this. So now this adds a little more. Well, if anything, it adds a little bit more to the story. Like for her, she's like, okay, wonder
Mm.
that this explains why this stuff is. I'm finding this stuff. Um.
Yeah.
So, and then
Um.
he says every day it's something new stolen away from us. I thought he was being
Hmm.
dramatic, but I remember how now a few things: tampons, waffle makers, coconuts, and things that were I don't think I think she's noticing things in the trash that are doesn't seem like trash to her that they're in the trash.
Yeah.
So it's like reverberating in the city.
Yeah, for sure. Um. But it's the next though instruments that she find are Turkish instruments.
Mm. Yeah.
She finds
So
an oud, a saz, and a ney. And I don't know about you, but I don't know what those are, but I'm pretty sure they're Turkish instruments. Um,
mm.
they're not, certainly not instruments that I am familiar with. Um, so, that kind of gets rid of,
Yeah, it's like I feel like the rule has gotten a little more. Oh, what do you say? Like if the rule changed and within a couple of days it went from no non-Turkish instruments now no instruments at all.
no instruments at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, and this kind of
Okay. So
elevates.
a saz is a stringed instrument. It looks kind of like a banjo or a guitar, but it has a shape on the end that's kind of like it looks a little bit like a hollowed out gourd. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's definitely or maybe a mandolin is what it looks closest to. Um, what is a ney? Oh, a ney is a end blown flute. So
Yeah. Yep. This
again,
Ezra Music
another
commented on that.
yeah. Yeah, but
Excuse me.
anyway, so yeah, the you're absolutely correct that it went from being um just Turkish instruments you can use now they can't use any instrument.
Mm-hmm.
They're killing off the just music in general.
Yeah, it
Um
becomes more becomes. I think it was under the you could say under the guise of nationalism, like oh we only want this
mhm,
here from us, like we every and then after a while that gets those reins get tightened more.
mhm.
Now we're getting rid of not this not Turkish instruments now all instruments. This is now it's
And
going
then
to
it
books.
becomes
which
Yeah,
is
now it's books.
no,
They're
no,
banning
we're
books.
not in books now. But but there's certain books that are allowed. Um,
Yeah,
there's exceptions.
religious
To
books.
see how histories of religions, works by religions, figures, see spy thrillers, murder mysteries, and science and mathematics textbooks, unless containing lines of poetry or whole poetry. So it's like you see this
Mm,
religion, things that are taught, systems. Systems are like if you on a, this is I'm looking at this from a political lens.
yeah.
Things that are represent systems are kept or
Hmm.
or have a nationalism have a nationalism association or kept. Religion
Hmm.
is control you. That's kept, but
Hmm.
some things are being um, anything associated with religions is good.
Yeah.
Science, mathematics, STEM, which is like in my state, like keep the science and everything else. Anything that could like all humanities or anything with
Mm.
humanities is pushed is looked at as what we even see would say woke. You know,
Yeah.
and so it's like math STEM is being pushed. Anything that could be in turn used to question the systems around you. I would think of
Yeah.
history, sociology, psychology, English, things like that are that's banned because it spurs critical thinking. So this is very at this this story is this has we talk about magical realism. This is the realism side of it, where
Hmm.
this is and very relevant to right now too. This is things are being is exceptions, and then those exceptions are being pulled back even more.
Hmm.
So this is like playing out in like the garbage people are seeing kind of
Yeah.
governmental
Most
orders
people,
the
yeah,
yeah the response they're seeing governmental response through people's trash.
yeah. However, most of the people are burning them. So they're what they're seeing is, like the empty containers rather than the books themselves.
Yeah.
Um, but we get to the point where one day Fatima can't lift the garbage bin. She she tried, but it's no use. So she drags it into the alley.
Heaves it over there
Yeah,
and it's hot.
and
It's like the
yeah,
sun is
yeah,
like piercing through. She's tired. She's like, I mean, she seems pretty abled,
yeah.
but this is a challenge for her. And she
And
opens
when
this thing up.
yep,
What does she
and there's the
find?
composer.
The composer himself.
He's curled up inside, with his knees, into his chest, and he blinks at the light and says, "I'm the trash today."
Yeah, which kind of like
She,
when I read that, I was like, what?
but
It was
but she doesn't
caught me off
question
guard.
it. She doesn't
She was
question it
all
at all.
right.
She's just like, "All right." Um, but she says, "You have to climb because you're too heavy for me to do this." So, he gets in to her cart and she just continues to throw trash in until it's covering him up to his neck.
He seems well, he
Um,
seems a little perturbed about it, like a little bit like I just picture him like trash, like McDonald's boxes hitting him in the face, and he's just kind of a little pissed, but understanding that this is
mm,
he's like I'm trash, so this is what's happening.
yeah.
A little self a little masochistic here. He's being buried in this rubbish.
Yeah, but he doesn't really know what happened to the rubbish after it leaves. So, but he suspects that he'll end up in the incinerator. And Fatima is like, "Oh yeah, I guess you will." Um, and he asks if it will be hot, and she says, "Yeah, it will." Um, she's not like I think it's interesting that even though she is humoring this man to a certain extent, she's also not lying to him.
Yeah.
Um, she's being quite honest about things. Um, and when he says that, he's cold, she offers him a warm place.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Well, yes, but there's also like this. I don't want to get too ahead of myself here, but this is it says great effort. Though he didn't complain, he wore a harsh frown, one that doubtless took great effort and concentration to maintain.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Let's look at these words here. This is my lit head. This is my
Mm-hmm.
professor head coming through here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
incinerator and concentration. What does that remind you of?
Uh, the Holocaust?
Yes. So we are, you're experiencing this great cleansing here. Like they're getting rid of things, and it's like these
Well,
things are being.
Hitler burned books.
Yeah. So like, okay. So what is this composer's kind of sitting there stoically accepting his fate in the incinerator? So it's like this is also alluding to like authoritarianism and this that
Mm-hmm.
he's in this garbage truck thinking he's gonna die, like
Yeah.
he's going to be in an incinerator like the garbage, and it's a lot of like allusions to WW2.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a reason why the concentration has a double meaning here. Concentration camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that being said, he accepts his fate. Well, I'm off to the incinerator, I suppose. Um, this is his fate.
Yeah.
And like, and I don't know, like in his mind, maybe he sees that like he's going through this. He sees the end, almost like this person maybe was Jewish, and it's
Maybe.
like I've seen this before. I've seen this in
Maybe.
history. So let me,
Yeah.
I know what comes next. They're gonna be getting rid of people soon. So,
Yeah.
and she's very literal. Like, well, it's quite hot, and it's an incinerator.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, my, it's like I feel like they're talking, and he's like he's making light of his death. Like, oh, my apartment's cold, so this may be better, even though it'll kill me.
Yeah.
And then she like just toys back, like you might not fit through the slot.
Yeah. He's like, but I'm thin.
Yeah, and it said the old man nodded. And it's an old man, so maybe he could have, like in this story, he could have experienced this in his youth,
Maybe.
and it's like this strange occurrence that he's like throwing away his violins and all this. Now he's like, wow, this is like a, uh, I'm having a deja vu here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then she's like, obviously, she's like, well, it's, you can stay with me. And it like changes everything.
Yeah.
Like that one statement, like, well, you can stay with me, stay in my house. You can stay in my attic. Like where
Mm-hmm.
so he's like, okay. So it's all of a sudden, he's like, I think he was maybe going to that place where
Mm-hmm.
maybe that he may have experienced it at one time in his life, concentration camp.
Yeah.
Now she like yanks him out of that. I don't think. Honestly, I don't think she even understood the gravity of the situation. And it also shows like
No.
it's like it also shows that the juxtaposition between the ages. Maybe she doesn't know about the concentration camps, and maybe the old man has memories of this stuff, and she doesn't have the. So they're talking about. There's a sub conversation happening here. He may be alluding to, he may be like solemnly accepting his fate here, and she's just like,
Mm-hmm.
she's being shiny and being so literal, like, oh, it's hot, yeah, it's hot, you'll burn yourself. And he's like talking about the Holocaust, and she's like, no, it is hot, you might not fit through there. And it's like it's just very funny, like this whole, and then at one point she's like, well, stay here, and it kind of transports him away from his loathing to, okay, I guess I'm not dying. Um, So just like the instruments, she she
Yeah.
she puts them up there.
She puts him in the attic, and, you know, he's very happy to see the instruments again. He may have thrown them away, but he um and I think that's really important. He was resigning himself to his fate, but that isn't really what he wants. Um
Yeah.
he he is he's up there, like, and she goes back to work. She's got to keep doing her job.
Hmm.
Um and it's just she keeps, you know, checking for more things. I mean, there is a moment though before that where, she shows him his stuff, and he's really happy about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah. She goes up there. Well, I think he doesn't even think this. He doesn't know what's up there. He thinks he's just going to be in an attic, and he jumps up there and he's
mm,
like, you talk about the guy, right? The composer.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the composer.
yeah. The composer, like, she pulls the ladder down,
Yeah.
and he's like a almost like how he looked like in the bin. He's like blinded by this um this dark space. He's trying to get his eyesight back to normal.
Hmm.
She kind of explains the situation, like, okay, you're safe here. There's floorboards. Just reach out in front of you. He has to crawl around for a second, and then, like, she looks in there, and the old man's like bent over one of his violins,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah.
my violin. He finds it like it was like a child. There's like some lost. He's embracing the child, like a small child, or like a long lost relative. Like he held it to
Do
his
you think
chest.
he do you think he thought when he threw them away that they would be gone forever?
Yeah, he didn't know. I
He
mean,
didn't it didn't occur to him
that
that
someone would see
possibly they
someone would,
might.
yeah, someone would assume attach value, or like read
Mhm.
read between the lines and say, hey, the way this is handled in the garbage, it's different than other stuff. Is not thrown away in haste. This is something that's been
Mhm.
placed in here. So I'm assuming when he sees it, it's in immaculate condition. It's the same way
Yeah.
he put it in there. So it's almost like he was storing it in a sense.
Yeah.
He's crying. It's like it's moving for him. He thought this thing was gone. He's being told by the government that he needs to destroy things,
Yeah.
and then something that he thought that he would never see again. And he sees, and he goes, my violin. So
Yeah.
then he starts noticing other shit
Yeah.
in there.
Because
He
she's, there's two cellos, the other violin, the viola, the saz, the oud, the ney. They're all there waiting for him.
Yeah,
And she knows that he's going to give them each time, you know, as as he discovers them, he's going to give them each the same care, the same affection, you know.
yeah, yeah.
They're his prized possessions.
Yeah, but it's also like
Um
if you think something is gone and then it's not,
yeah.
it's overwhelming. Especially
Yeah.
when and stuff that you put attachments to, like DJ Recovery was saying. The
Hmm.
story is moving for me too. Yeah, this is like this is what moves him. It's music, and he's being told that he can't have it anymore. And then he comes to he's probably it was thrown away with care because he didn't.
Hmm.
It's like when it was thrown away, like, in a way that showed that he didn't want to throw it away. We didn't
Yeah.
just trash it. It's not like some plastic from a toy or something. Like it was
No,
placed
and I
it was
mean,
placed on top.
yeah. You saw how he put each item into those bins with care. So he but he did it because he couldn't treat them any other way, but he didn't expect somebody else to treat them with the same care.
Yeah, it
Um,
was just, yeah, that too was like,
mhm,
wow, I didn't for it to survive, someone else had to care for it too.
yeah.
Okay.
Ezram says no favorite child. So all of his instruments are important to him.
Yeah, and they're all
Um,
around him. He's like this old guy in a crouch down in the attic, just like wigging out over all his instruments that he thought were, destroyed.
yeah. But as I said, she goes back to work. She goes back to um, life outside the attic. And Mehmet explains that it's dangerous. That, she's ignored him when he said this, but previously, but now she's beginning to understand, the the grocer is saying it's dangerous. The neighbor in the stairwell is saying it's dangerous. The postman, the baker, everyone is starting to realize that they're in a very dangerous time and you need to be careful about what you have.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah,
keeping certain things, the government may come down on you.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and they, they said that there's other crimes being committed, actual crimes, but those aren't really being stopped. Um, but that, outside it's becoming dangerous. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on. Um, the composer is up in the attic playing away. He um he barely sleeps, but when he does, he's still doing the movements of playing the violin. Um, he he's playing like he hasn't played in years, like the excitement of getting all these things back that he thought were gone. It's just like it's kind of made him a a demon playing, just can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
He asks for paper and pencil.
Yeah.
And then he wants the rest of his instruments, but she doesn't have access to his house. And if they weren't thrown, if the government hasn't gone into his apartment and thrown them out, then she can't get them.
Mm-hmm.
But she does go out and is making it through her route
Mm-hmm.
and comes upon a violinist in the trash bin.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, hello.
So another person is in the trash and says that I'm the violinist of the building. They've thrown me out. So now there's a new person for her to bring home. But she's also finding new
More.
instruments.
Yeah.
There's a snare drum,
Yeah.
two violins, a dented oboe. Um, for weeks, she's finding musicians and instruments in the garbage.
Yes.
Um, but she brings them all back to her attic. So her attic is getting very full.
Very full. Very
Um,
chatty. Very chatty.
yeah, yeah.
Lots of interaction.
She, yeah, she takes food up to them, and they're they're playing a symphony.
Yeah.
And she's even surprised because there's things up there that she didn't bring. There's a trombone. She
Yeah.
never brought a
Yeah.
trombone. Like,
People. Yeah. It's they're starting to acquire things as well. They have a little bit of a I don't know, like a little commune up top. Musicians
yeah.
are coming
And
together
and
and
she's concerned that, people are going to hear them,
yeah, 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 yeah.
but for some reason that doesn't seem to be a problem. Um and but she's like, "Please guys, you got to stop playing. Like everyone's going to hear you." They're like, "But we have nothing else to do. That's all we have to do."
Hmm.
Um So yeah, they keep going, and apparently they're playing a dramatic symphony in C.
That was like in response to that. Like their music is
Yeah.
being influenced by the situation. Like they're like, oh,
Yeah.
like we can't play what we want, so we have to play this in C. It's
Mhm.
like to show our to show our frustration. Like we can't voice it, so we voice it through our instruments, which is it's like a beautiful little moment. I think. Nice touch to a story. Um, they're responding through their music. So and they're trying to be quiet too. I mean, I'm saying maybe these dramatic songs, or I think are could be a little lower in decibel, right? Some of these
Yeah.
ballads that if they're playing it, they might play different songs that they don't
Yeah.
yield
But
it.
they're not trying to be quiet.
Yeah, but they or they're being passive aggressive. They're playing something loud
Yeah.
to piss off in retaliation. You know.
Yeah.
So as we keep going here,
Yeah.
um,
So Mehmet explains that they're going to be busier
yeah.
because the government has decreed more things need to be gotten rid of.
Hmm.
Um, and Fatima asks Mehmet if he thinks she'll have to throw anything away, and he's like, "You don't own anything."
Yeah.
So he's like,
Unbeknownst, unbeknownst to him, she
yeah,
has like
unbeknownst to him, yeah,
this
he's like,
this
I, on the other
freaking
hand, will have to burn a few of my books.
yeah.
Um,
She has the
but
Philharmonic up above her.
yeah, but she says, well, they talk about how some of the books have gone missing, even though they haven't thrown them away. So it seems clear that someone is coming in and getting rid of things that they think they shouldn't have.
Hmm.
Um, but Hamdi gets nervous because he realizes that he's actually kept some books that maybe he shouldn't have.
Hmm.
Um, and uh,
I
I
mean,
think Mehmet's
yeah.
he's more scared for his books because he'd hidden them, but he hid them even from his wife because some of them were very special.
Yeah.
Um,
He's worried, and maybe they didn't make the list at first,
yeah,
but now they make the
yeah.
list. So
Now they make the list.
he's just doesn't know what to do. And
Yeah.
I feel like this echoes the sentiment of everyone in the city at this point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, but it's funny because Fatima is confused because she's like, I didn't think you could read. Um, but he says it's not about reading only, and I thought that was interesting because I buy a lot of books, and some of them are for me. They're just cheap paperbacks, but sometimes I buy really pretty books, and those are not just about reading.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I get that he sometimes just has books because of the book itself.
and sentimentality
Um,
too.
mhm, mhm.
It could be something like from his family, or maybe it was something that he got from his parents. You don't know. There's so many
Yeah.
attachments to these things.
But
But she, in response, she takes the books, right, for him,
yeah,
like stores
she
them.
takes some of his books to um she promises that they'll be safe.
Hmm.
She doesn't tell him that some of her books had gone missing, but
Hmm.
she'd not put them in the attic. She just kept them in
Hmm.
her apartment. So these books go to the attic, and then the musicians are beside themselves because now they have something else to do. They can read books.
Yeah, and the
And
funny thing, the old composer's mad.
yeah, the composer gets mad because he's like, "Wait, we're supposed to be playing music. What are you guys doing?"
And they're reading. They're like, "Oh,
Um,
cool! I got these books." So they start reading books in there,
yeah,
and they forget to play their
but
instruments.
Fatima does explain, there's only so many books. Eventually, they'll run out of books, and then they'll go back to playing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it's very interesting because even though they love music, they quite like having something else to do as well.
Yeah, and then plus,
Um,
and then the books spur conversations. There's a discourse that
exactly.
becomes
Yeah, they can start talking
Yeah,
about
they're
this.
talking about the books and philosophies, and so it's now it's like this great conversation with music and other things.
Hmm.
Um,
And Fatima's starting to get worried though. Um,
there's a lot of people up there, lots
because
of stuff.
yeah, there's a lot of people up there. There's a lot of stuff up there. Um, Somehow the composer gets an upright piano into the attic, which makes no sense because there's only a ladder to get up there.
Well, this is
Um,
magical realism 101. We're gonna do the unexplainable, uh, which is nice. I just think it's funny that they're stuffing this attic full of stuff, or
yeah.
they have all these things there.
Yeah,
It's like very like it's
they're
commune. It's like a
caged
commune.
yeah, they're caged animals in a way, but they're so enriched,
There's a
as
lot of
DJ
stuff to do.
McGovern
There's a lot of
says.
stuff.
Yeah.
um,
But they're getting, like, Fatima's getting worried about the plywood boards warping, and they're only plywood, and the composer's like, plywood, that's strong, or this strong, eh? There's it's like they all know that stuff shouldn't be happening this well, you
yeah,
know?
it's but it's funny. Like I think she's bringing food up there, and every time she goes up there, she finds more stuff.
Hmm.
It's like now it's not just the people in the orchestra, it's strangers in there.
Yeah.
Like this, like the Beat generation, like people that hanging out, talking about philosophy and things, and talking to the musicians. You see it. It's almost like just having this. It's like it's a microcosm for the Renaissance in this person's attic. Like
Yeah.
you have all these arts, this amalgamation of things happening. This is
But
culture.
okay,
Culture is
yeah,
occurring,
culture
and
is occurring
but
up
in the
there.
city,
Yeah.
culture is being exterminated in a sense.
Hmm.
So like
Okay, but
culture is like
you you skipped over something quite ridiculous though.
oh yeah yeah what oh yes they
So
were
Fatima is in her flat and she looks out the window and she sees some policemen arrest a tree.
yeah yeah
It's they handcuff themselves to the tree, or handcuffed the tree and stood there until the forestry service came and cut down the tree. And then they didn't let the forestry service take the tree away. They took the tree away because it was under arrest and they read it its rights.
the trees are getting arrested. Jesus.
So yeah, now the trees are getting arrested. And I was just like, what? I wrote in the side, like on the sheet of paper, I'm like, what? With three question marks. I was like, where the hell did this come from?
This is if I was in a crass punk band, it would be I would have a shirt that had a tree on it that's being arrested. It'd be like
That would be cool, actually.
never again.
Never again.
It's like the trees are getting arrested. It's like the police state is taking the trees away. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Um.
no.
So so okay, we find okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm trying
So
to going
yeah,
through this.
Sada, there are new people in the attic. Um, the old composer says he tried to stop them, but it's like people have somehow heard that there's this safe space, and now they're just gathering there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but I don't understand, like, how this space is continuing to hold all these
There's
people.
a lot of people.
This is this space is magical. It's like somehow growing to fit the people who are in it.
As the city's coming down on artists and things like
Mhm.
this. God, it's so relevant.
Yeah, it's just an old woman at first, wrapped in a ratty blanket that maybe her mother had made decades ago. She stayed under the piano bench.
Yeah.
But this one guest turned into two, who turned into three, then five, then 12. Then an artist who had watched his portfolios being dismantled by the police. So yeah, this is just, it's growing arms and legs, and more people are appearing, and it's becoming, I love this line, um, that it was becoming a liminal space or a liminal station. It's this in between place for people.
A purgatory,
Um,
if you will, you know,
yeah, yeah.
between the
Um,
whatever's happening on the outside, i.e., this government takedown, and you know, whatever's existing in the. It's not a public space. It's a private
no,
space.
it's a private space, but
But
they get a sculptor.
it's existing.
Yeah, they get a
It's
sculptor, a farmer, a baklava baker.
yeah. This like, they're making scones up there. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
they're
professors of literature,
like
a
yeah,
French teacher.
yeah. There's a lot of people.
It's a family of Syrians. That's my favorite. Just a family of Syrians.
this is a this is a motley crew of personalities. Um,
Yeah,
this like and this
but
but I say motley because of the fact that they are going against the grain here.
yeah,
They're going. This is a legal grouping of people. Like these people
yeah.
are purposely evading the law by being in one. So it's like it's a very defiant group.
Mhm.
They don't want to. They're going against the iron hand,
Mhm.
the arm of the law.
Um yeah, but in the while this is going on,
Hmm.
there's this massive concrete structure being built. Um it's super tall.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
no windows. Um the speculation is that they're trying to um was it compact air so incredibly dense that you could put it into your pockets and chip away at it with a chisel anytime you needed a breath. Um,
Yeah, which is like symbolism, incredible, like persona, like symbolism here. Like I mean, you're
hmm
being choked out creatively. So
Yeah. Somebody else has, like, there's a rumor going around that that's where they're storing everything that's being banned.
yeah.
Um, and then somebody else, or the Fatima also heard that it was a catacomb and
Mm.
there's a shelf for everyone. Um,
Yeah, which another allusion to almost like the Holocaust.
yeah. Um, but then it becomes clear that all of the trees have been removed now.
Yeah.
Not just that one that got arrested, they're all gone. Um, the city Istanbul is no longer emerald and azure, but instead the temper of sun-baked limestone.
Yeah.
So all the beauty is being removed.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um, and then Fatima gets picked up by the police. Um, they
Yep.
found in her bag a tube of red paint.
Yeah.
Um, she saved it from the garbage for the painter that was up in her attic.
Hmm.
And the police is like, this is a not an approved color of paint. Um, it's been banned. Uh, but he explains that he has a drawer of paint as well. And she's like, it's evidence, right? And he says, yeah, I couldn't paint a straight line if I tried.
Hmm.
Um, but he still likes having it.
Hmm.
He still likes keeping this paint in his possession.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so he takes the red paint from her and puts it in the drawer. Um, but then he says that there's a concern in the department that her neighborhood is defiant. And she questions whether they know about the attic. She also mentions that anytime someone is questioned by police, their home is searched.
Yeah.
So she imagines that even as she's sitting there talking to this police officer, there are people going through her house and they could find the attic. Um, she, she talks to the officer, but there's really nothing else that can be done for her at this point.
Yeah.
Um, now that she's there, that's it. There's no trial, nothing like that. It's just you're getting 2 years in prison because of this paint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but he kind of gives her a moment to have an out, like, well, maybe someone else is the problem in the neighborhood, but she's not going to throw anybody else under the bus.
Mm-mm.
She wouldn't do that. So she gets taken to the prison. And that's what that big
She ain't no
building
rat.
is.
She ain't no rat. She
Yeah, she
moves through
ain't
the
no
alleys like a
rat.
rat, but she ain't no rat.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
Um, but he put he she she gets to the hearing, they can't defend her. She goes into the prison. It was her and a dozen other people. They go in handcuffs. Um, there's like the prison is flat concrete.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 90-degree angles and straight lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing to add any beauty to it.
Aesthetically pleasing at all. This is
Yeah.
plain.
Um, and it looks huge, but then once she's inside, there's hardly any room. There's so many people in there. Uh, they, you know, get them to their, like, she gets her cell. It's small. There's not much there. But then she sees, um, well, the guard says to her not to worry, that there are more criminals outside than inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, everybody realizes that the crimes that these people have committed to get put in prison are not really dangerous crimes.
No.
Um, but the guards say that one of the guards says that he's practically getting his bachelor's degree just by hanging out because there's so many professors and writers.
Yeah, but people who get
Um,
arrested or not, like it's so. Imagine the conversations in the prison are probably enriching. He's learning.
yeah,
I mean, they're going yielding these rules, but the kind of people in there are used to discussing things. So it's like you can't. You could get them in this place, this hollowed out like tomb, for lack of a better word.
yeah,
But this people will still talk. Discourse
yeah,
will occur. Doesn't matter what you if you don't books or not. People have minds. They're gonna, especially those who
yeah,
have in those fields that have are used to. They're not as in a way like you're not cubed. You're not boxed in because you've already to be in those fields. You already have to think out of the box. So you're physically,
yeah,
even if you're in this catacombs, you're out of there in your mind. You're not even you're not cased in a system. So they can't.
hmm,
Doesn't matter what they did. They can't change that. Uh,
yeah,
that will never happen, which is very very optimistic thing in the story.
hmm,
Uh, so she's here in this thing as this, simultaneously, her attic is filled, brimming with culture and different people. She's in prison, in this prison.
yeah. But then something odd happens. Um, as she gets to her cell, she is in a her cell is shared with some other people. She mentions that there is a backgammon board, a teapot, and a
Yep.
toy car. And she knew that the items were in here with us rather than for us, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
But
Um,
people, academics, were giving lectures to each other.
yeah,
There was. It doesn't matter if these things were taken away; they're still communicating. Um. So, and then
but but the guard who escorted her is like walking away, and he stops in front of another cell. Um, a different guard came to him and shrugged his shoulders and relieved the first guard of his hat and his baton and his radio before locking him up behind the barred door.
yep, yep. Then
Then the
that
guard, yeah, continues down the catwalk, stopping before another empty cell where another guard met him and relieved him of his hat and his baton and his radio before locking him up and moving down to another empty cell. And that continued all the way down. So everyone is breaking the law and getting arrested.
yeah, I mean, and it's like such a fitting end to that story because if you see it, any especially if I make a association to as of now, I live in Florida, which is full of stuff like this politically. You have in the name of wokeness that the people saying, oh, you can't do that. We got to get rid of humanities. Got to get rid of history, philosophy, sociology. These are degrees that make people think. The problem is, the people who want to control things don't want you to think. And the fields that are being canceled or being limited or being put to rest are disciplines that require you to think out of the box. You have to critically think. So, what the problem with this with the issue with the people or the government in this story is that they think they can't. Any chance they have, they're trying to. It's like I feel like they try to stamp out the flame of I guess if it was like a spark of the spark of creative thinking, the spark of creativity in everything. So they say, okay, we'll keep some books, and then that doesn't work. They realize still people are still talking, are still communicating. So they say, okay, instead of banning some books, we ban all the books, and then that was enough. So let's do this and do that. To the end of the story, gets they try all these things until even the people who are arresting people are arresting each other. Because it doesn't matter what they do, they don't realize that it's not really the things like yes, it will be harder. It will be harder to maybe think not in systems if we don't have books to inspire us or art to inspire us. But the people who once you do it, it's always in you. So
Yeah.
that's the problem that they're having. They've pretty much stripped away all these things that they're like, oh, this is bad. You can't do this. We have to get rid of this. We have to get rid of this. These kind of school teachers. These people in society. These books. These. At the end of the day, you can't do anything. It doesn't matter what you do. An authoritarian regime cannot put a cage around the mind.
No.
So it's really this when you think about this story, it's showing you that it's like even when stripped away they arrested the trees, everything at the end, like at the most maybe restricted areas, people are still having conversations. They're giving lectures. They're doing things. Like, you can't stop that. You can't stop the human mind.
To the point where the guards aren't safe from taking part in this.
Yeah, because exactly.
Because it's happening around them.
And it gets to the point where you have to have, there's so many parallels to now, even like AI. If people think, oh, like this is spurring new ideas. No, it's not. It's like existing ideas. You need to go outside the box and think originally.
It'll eat itself.
It's gonna eat itself. And but yeah, you're right. Like the guard was in the proximity to this conversation, and he's like, wow, Which makes me also think that people are very fast to judge creative people, creatives, if that pluralize that.
Creatives.
Yeah,
Yes,
creatives. Like
creatives
there, I
is what
feel
we
like
would call ourselves.
yeah, I feel like people who are maybe more conservative or don't even look at the arts in that way, or will only appreciate the arts if it's the only thing left, and they see it.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like, oh wow, you really do that. That's what I think is going to happen with AI. Like it's going to be AI is going to copy itself to the point that it's going to just eat its own thing eventually, and then all the creatives that were fired will get rehired again because they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, we need you. We never realized your importance. Because
My
all our stuff looks the same. It looks like shit. Please, we need you. And then the creatives are gonna be like, okay, I'll hire
well,
me
it
back.
costs you 3 times as much
And it's
now.
gonna 3 times as more. We're gonna charge you 3 times as more, idiot.
It's funny because my partner sent me something that it was just a silly meme, but it said that uh, graphic designers are safe from AI. We're not, but the meme. It said graphic designers are safe from AI because in order for AI to work, a client needs to be able to ask for what they want.
Yeah, I didn't know what they want.
And they never know what they want.
No.
Absolutely never know what they want. But the problem is, with AI will keep guessing. It will keep guessing forever. Whereas a graphic designer will be like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill you if you do not agree to something at some point soon."
Yeah. It's really if you what you want is what your neighbor wants. Eventually, it'll have the same
Yeah.
thing, and then that will just become boring.
And that happens so often.
Yeah.
We actually even tell our clients sometimes we're like, um, if you see something you like, bring it to us. And it's not because we're going to replicate it, but it gives us some idea of what it is
Yeah.
that they like.
Yeah.
But often when they do that and then we show them our new version of it, they're like, "Oh, I thought it was going to look like that." And I was like, "Well, no, I'm not going to rip off somebody else's design,
Yeah.
but I tried to pull elements from what you liked to put into a new design." But yeah, it's difficult.
And this in the story, I feel like it's a very, very optimistic approach, Rick, where we could take everything away, ban everything for being this or that, yet creativity still prevails. Critical thinking is still the people who once you know how to do it, once you think that way, it's so is it people are. I feel like I can never understand why people are not inquisitive. I think that's my what's the word I hate. Philistines. Philistines. Yeah, I can't. I never knew there was a word for that, but I was like, oh, this is my biggest pet peeve in life. People who are not interested in like digging. And I come from a record, the music culture. There was a time, and I know like people like DJ Recovery Rate and other people here. There was a shift when I was into music, hearing stuff on the radio. The day I heard college radio, it changed my life. Like I just didn't know that there was. I was like, "What? This is a private station that plays different kinds of music. All that stuff I was listening to was a format, so these are other bands. Like it was like so. Either I'm in my life. I tried to. If you don't dig a little deeper. If you just happy this surface level with everything in your life, I just don't want to be around you. And it's like I know it sounds harsh, but you have to I'm not saying you want more, but you have to be inquisitive enough to say like, okay, oh wow, there's other music or other that intrigue guides me and it makes me judge others.
Yeah.
It's like I just can't deal with someone that's like, yeah, I just put the TV on, I put the radio on, and
I think that's different than because I'm thinking back to wants again.
Yeah, wants.
Last
Yeah,
week's
exactly.
Story.
Like wanting more.
It's different than that. That there's wanting more material items
Yeah.
will never make you happy.
Yeah.
Wanting more knowledge can make you happier.
It does. Yeah.
Wanting more because you learn about the world. I have I was I was talking to my boss this week because somebody asked me for a picture of JD Rockefeller. And I knew who he was. Of course I did. He co-founded Standard Oil. I knew who this man was. What I didn't realize is there is still a John Davis Rockefeller alive today. Those people had five kids, like five generations of JD Rockefellers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because obviously the first one, wealthy man, co-founded a business. Second one was a philanthropist. He essentially took all that money and just ran some charities. The next one became a politician. But by the time we got to five, there's not a lot written about him because he's tired. He doesn't want to be in the public eye or do anything. He just
Lord
wants
cares. Yeah.
to live his life. His girlfriend is more famous than him because her dad was a footballer. Like that's where he's at. He's the fifth in a line of people who a name that, Rockefeller Center is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
part of this great
Yeah.
family, and he's just John Davis Rockefeller the fifth, and he just wants to be left on his own.
Yeah. And yeah, no, it's like, but it's like just the fact that you went down that rabbit hole is interesting, and some people just don't. People
Yeah.
like there's a lot of people that
Sorry, I forgot that was my point. My
yeah,
point
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
that I just went down this rabbit hole because somebody asked me for a photo for work. And I said to my boss, like I was talking about this with him, and he's like, "This is what happens to me sometimes on the internet. I just get down a hole of
Yeah.
whatever it is I started looking up. I end up like 3 levels down
Mm-hmm.
looking at something completely different." But I find that fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I
Whether
like
or
I
not
mean,
it was important for my job.
coming from the record collecting type stuff, like I would get like in metal especially, like he would go to get a record or a CD, and you would have the metal musicians had a tendency to like list every band they liked. So you would be like, okay, what did they listen to? Oh, who is this band? Oh, Slaughter Lord from Australia, or like what the hell is this? Demolich, or like some odd, like, who's this from Belgium? Let me check this out. I thought when I was younger, I thought everyone thought like that. I thought everyone was like that, and then I just realized that some people just don't care. And sometimes I get it. I'm surprised that no one doesn't get excited as I do. That's why when I stream and I play a lot of new stuff, because I'm excited, and it makes people. Some people just don't have that, and if you don't have it, then I mean, at my age, I just don't want to. Like I can't deal with the. I just put my radio on once in a while. I'll go out. They go. It's sit in front of the water cooler at work. Like, hey, you see what's on American Idol last night? So John we got another cruise this year. Yes, we're not getting off the boat. You don't want to go there. Just eat the food.
Oh, yeah, you've hit a sore spot for me. I think cruises are the worst.
Yeah.
The worst form of travel.
Oh, I know. It's like it's cosmopolitan diarrhea. like you can't.
Like, I want to travel, but I don't
not
actually
travel.
want to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like the most American bloated. I
I don't think Zim's in here, but Zim had to go on a cruise, and Zim was like, because Zim, it was a family thing, right?
Yeah.
And Zim had to go because it was a family thing, and I don't think Zim enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, exactly. So like, so in theory, like this story is a beautiful way of just showing that inquiry and culture still prevails despite government interference and restrictions. I mean, we should, and that, what a great story to end our year of or partial year of book club.
Partial year.
as
We'll see
you
what
know,
happens next
we're
year.
going to go into this next year with the same enthusiasm, and we do appreciate
Hmm.
everyone being here, because the more we, these may see, if someone's like, "Why you want to read short stories? You could read nonfiction or read this or read that," because in short stories, we look through them and see ourselves and characters. We can
Hmm.
relate to them, and it makes our life better. So, and that's why it's important, and we do appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you,
and
everyone.
and have a happy holiday for those who join us. And please, next year we're gonna have lots of different new stuff for you.
Yeah, I think the week of the 5th of January,
Yeah, we'll be
we'll,
back.
we'll be back at it.
Shiniest on holiday.
Um, yep,
But we
yep.
appreciate all of you. Happy New Year. Happy Merry
Hmm.
Holidays.
Happy Merry
Happy
Holidays,
Merry
everyone.
Holidays. Assalamu
I'm
Lakers.
waving. You can't see it, but I'm waving.
I love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Merry everything.